By the pricking of my thumbs. My friends, Something Wicked this way comes. Hello and welcome to Something Wicked, our weekly Wednesday 6 p.m. D&D live improv comedy show set in a Gothic Horror setting. Woo! I am going to toss it right over to our beautiful, rapacious, ever hungry for social gossip, my friend Cassie Thorne.
Hello. We got through almost an entire 24 hours last time. It was pretty exciting. First, we went for a clandestine meeting down through a bookshelf and into a weird laboratory, past some magical things and through another door. And then everyone who was important was talking, and then I was talking, and then Tizzy was like, I thought we weren't going to be talking. I don't know. There was all sorts of shenanigans that were happening. The Kaiser was there. Apparently, Fist has a tattoo. Lots and lots of intrigue. And then we decided to join into a one-on-one combat thingy the next day. It went really, really well. I'm very well versed at the arts martial. I was promptly defeated, followed by Callista, I believe, who was not so promptly defeated, followed by Lyodin, who, with the help of some people, I believe, being sassy and talking smack from the bleachers, managed to knock out her opponent. But for some reason, it was called a no contest. And that's where we left it. We were all up in arms, sort of, because we realized, what are we doing? But we realize that every single time we play. And that's about it.
That sounds very much like Something Wicked, actually. What do we do? Oh, shenanigans? Yeah, shenanigans. Yeah. So you folks just left off. Lyodin just finished their bout. A chicken was conjured. It began dancing and then punched into an explosion of cooked chicken meat, which has coated the audience. The clear use of magic, plus the two jeering voices from the crowd, have caused the attendants to basically stop everything and declare a no contest. And the crowd is starting to kind of get restless, and several people are leaving to clean themselves. It's a bit of a fiasco. What are you folks doing? I don't think we
participated in anything where we haven't rained something awful on the crowd.
Bugs once, love letters another time. Well, that was raining it up, actually, technically.
These have all been my ideas.
Well, the lawn bowling, it was just more smack talk. So
no, lawn bowling, Lyodin rained down lawn bowls on the pitch.
True.
I mean, Lyodin got a room number is what happened there.
No, very true.
Unrelated
to the shot put that Lyodin was playing at lawn bowling.
Wait a second. Was it last time that everybody was getting it on with dragons too? Did I forget that part?
Oh, jeez. The important part.
What a whirlwind tour de orgy I forgot about.
Yeah,
there was Gatorade breaks and everything.
Callista and Val have known each other biblically. Yes, this is what you missed.
Now canon.
It is. So you folks are in the middle of this crowd wrestling
that's
around.
our second set of characters that have done that. So
it's true.
Oh yeah.
Who's the first?
Harada and
Angela.
And Angela.
I forgot about that.
Lost episode.
So you folks are standing, milling about. It looks like Bonifacio has taken a couple of licks here and there, and is standing waiting for more challengers. But it seems that most of the crowd leaving has kind of killed the mood a bit. What are you folks doing? Some of you are quite haggard. You've only had a couple hours of sleep, and you're quite hungover.
Val isn't hungover.
Who needs to sleep?
Oh, isn't it Tizzy's turn?
Have a bit of the tussled post-sex look, but she's gonna be like, I'm game for a match without the heckling.
But Bonifacio draws his sword again, kind of bows, takes his stance. The attendant.
Do you want to get some healing first, or
I already healed him.
I feel like you've got or I've got an unfair advantage.
It's only 3 touches, so hopefully you don't sneak attack murder him in one shot, but we'll see.
I am a rogue. Okay.
This man is also very, very, very full of bravado for the older gentleman from Vestarios.
Well, let's do this.
All right, roll me some initiative.
I will do that. 15.
Oh, that's not bad. All right, you are up first. What are you doing? Going for a stab?
Just going right in, trying to catch him off guard, and like since he's got the bravado and he sort of blew off her attempt to be like, let's do this as like a fair fight. If you feel like it's unfair, it's like, okay, well then.
It's
Going in.
He's ready.
All right.
All right. Roll me an attack if you are stab.
Where is my?
God.
I don't have a rapier in my inventory.
I will have given you my rapier that I've been passing around to everybody.
Okay.
So
It's-
just
if
like
you're
add it to your
proficient in it.
equipment.
Okay, give
It's
me a
dex
sec.
plus proficiency.
Sorry?
It's dex plus proficiency if you're proficient in it. If you
I
don't
don't
have
know
the
what
weapon
rapier-
stats.
I like that none
If
of
you-
us are dex
I am
fighters, so we
proficient
have
in
like
rapier.
one
Woo!
rapier between us.
Yep. We have
It's-
two. One's just super
Perfect.
racist, and we
Yeah, we
don't
don't like the
racist.
racist sword.
The nicest looking one is also the worst.
I mean, it works.
Welcome to Something Wicked, where we have items that are racist.
We didn't come up with that.
Examine your biases, audience.
You made it.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So, what'd you roll for that attack?
Sorry.
I feel
I'll
like
do
Corey
that.
just gaslit the
Attempting
entire
to-
audience with that one.
Get the rapier equipped.
I feel like while this is going on, Tizzy's like wandering back over to
There we go.
Cassidy, like, will you
Okay.
please press the
There we
digits
go.
to just get rid of all
Go.
the goo? Just spit 'em out.
That is a 15 to hit. Not great.
That does not hit. So he parries your first strike, comes, and you see he's kind of gritting his teeth a bit. Do you have a second attack? Do you have multi-attack?
Do I?
No, rogues don't.
I don't think I do.
Like at
Do I?
any point.
Question.
I think you can have an offhand if you're dual wielding, but
I'm not
so
dual
he's
wielding.
going to come in, and you see he's actually going to use his multi-attack here. He's coming in with some
Rude.
intent. He's trying to end this.
Okay.
First one is garbage, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the second one is also garbage. Bonifacio, what are you doing to me 2 weeks in a row? He misses
Please
horribly,
no.
Val. Very easily. You just parry one, block the next stab. You're up.
Okay. So Val is gonna
Or
equip,
physical dice.
hey, multiple attacks. And then she's gonna try and stab him again.
Do a stab.
And that is a 26.
That hits.
Kill
So very
him!
solidly, he goes to block, is not able to get up his sword in time.
I'm gonna like declare that this is non-lethal and do 10, see what happens, and then decide whether or not I do a sneak attack.
Melissa's gonna say, "Looks like you can't get it up," to Bonifacio and wiggle her fingers. She is not casting a spell, but she is like in his head.
Psych him out.
Roll for gaslighting.
Roll for gaslighting. I'm rolling physical dice. This or roll 20 has punished me. Oh, that's also garbage. Yeah, he looks unnerved.
So with 10 damage,
He's still up.
okay.
You get him in the chest almost directly because his sword isn't quick enough.
Well,
and then
since
the call
he's
out from
doing double
Callista.
attack, I'm gonna do sneak attack.
Kill this
man.
Again, still non-lethal.
Stated it was non-lethal.
Coward.
Val has scruples.
I mean, yeah, please don't. But like,
Don't, but actually,
I would be remiss if I did not say
It's true.
you should
It's
kill
true.
him.
It's been your thing. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him.
Please.
solving all your problems with murder.
Murder. Yeah.
Mhm.
How much damage? Total?
13 from the sneak attack.
Okay, on top. Oh man. Yeah. How do you want to do this non-lethally?
Jesus.
You see,
Uh,
he's bravely gritting his teeth. He has taken some damage and was trying to push to the end.
so she just like manages to catch him, like probably in the side, in the ribs, and is trying to meet him at his level since he's doing the double attack, and getting that one through his usual ability to dodge out of the way was enough apparently to knock him out.
Yeah, he's slowed down. He full on takes a knee, and you see him just sink to the sand a little bit, and the breath just goes full on dazed. Anyone going to
Finish him. Two more
Val
pokes.
will step back and be like,
Two more pokes. Two more
"You
pokes.
wanna
him.
heal?
Yeah,
I would like to win this,
He's,
but I
he's
don't
passed
know."
out, so
him.
you just have to touch him a couple more times.
Okay, then she's just gonna like top him on the head twice.
Just like tap him.
Hey, wait. You know what to do.
There's a
Poke him.
round of applause from the audience, and the attendant goes, "Did you sign up with your real name for this?"
It's the name that so yeah, it would be Val.
Miss Val has won the contest, and there's a pause as the attendant announces you the winner, raises your hand, and then goes over to Bonifacio. And
If it
you
looks
see
like
him.
he's
He's
doesn't
okay.
have any healing, Mikey will join the attendant and like smear some of that purple goo on him.
He was like
Wave it
taking
under
a
his nose.
pulse, and so you do manage to bring with Mikey's help. Bonifacio kind of wakes up and he sits up. He's a bit dazed still, but he kind of just looks over at all of you and he goes, "In my day, people had more honor." And he
I didn't heckle or anything, and I gave you the opportunity to heal up. I don't know why you're throwing shade at me.
He was looking at the crowd where the direction of the shout came from.
Yeah, but that was just normal heckling. Deal with it, buddy. I'll say that out loud too. I'm like that was just
Just
normal
shouting
heckling.
from the back. He
Yeah.
pulls off his ring and he holds it up to you, and it seems to be a very nice, like dark silver ring with like little rivulets of blue kind of running through the metal. And what looks to be a tragedy mask, a la classic theater. And he kind of takes it off and he throws it at you and goes, "Maybe she will curse you next, huh?"
I
Valerie,
have
catch this
removed
ring, or-
curse.
Val will catch
Is that
it.
why you did so bad?
He kind of gets up and starts walking around the other side of the pond away from the crowd. And the crowd is kind of a buzz with murmurs.
Kind of a sore loser, but okay. I gave him an opportunity to heal up and he didn't want it. So that's as fair of a fight as he's going to get.
And he left in a huff too. He was an older man, despite his elven heritage, and was graying. And you could tell he had a lot of machismo, a lot of bravado to prove himself, especially for someone who is exiled from the land of his birth.
What'd you
A
win?
bunch
So-
of dumb adventurers had to come and heck it all up for him.
Oh yeah.
I will
So
show
you have a
the
new
rest of the party the ring that she's won.
Ooh.
Nice.
And the crowd is starting to disperse.
If you want me to look at that for you later, just let me know.
I'd like that.
Does anybody have the itinerary for what's happening today? Because I mean, if we're not doing anything important in the next couple hours, I am going back to bed.
Well, I'm gonna
Um,
go have tea. But that's my only plan for today.
What
Yeah,
kind of-
there's not much. I have the itinerary, and it's
High tea.
Ooh,
we have from between now and 6 to get ready for dinner.
okay.
So
Why
yeah,
do you need so
High
much
tea,
time to get ready
then
for
a nap.
dinner?
I don't know.
I
They're
mean,
preparing
no
dinner.
Itinerary.
That's their preparation time, not yours.
I mean, to be
But there
fair, a
was-
lot of people were pretty messed up
It was a
last
rowdy-
night. And the
it was a
ones
rowdy
that
first
weren't
night.
completely messed up are probably still enjoying some afterglow. Maybe.
Half the crowd was
Morning
day drinking,
cuddles.
you could all see.
This is
It
like
was
day
very
2 of a
apparent.
convention.
Yeah.
I didn't know day drinking was an option.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's always an option.
Do we want
I
to
believe you started.
do we want to maybe see if we can set up a meeting with the prince of Lafat, I want to say, like 4-ish or something. So before dinner. See if we can kind of
I can send him a note.
yeah, because I don't think we got a chance to really talk with him, right? Yet.
No, not yet.
I don't remember.
Are
Which
there
one is
any
that?
other heavy? That's the guy who his dad does all the slavery stuff, and
Yes.
he wants to kind of dethrone his dad. And we might need a place to hang out if Ghastheim keeps going in the direction it's
I
going.
didn't get the impression he wanted to dethrone his dad. I had the impression that he has ideas that when he's in power, he's going to change things.
We're
is
just like
heir to
standing
the
in a
throne.
garden talking about this man.
Basically.
The attendant is kind of standing awkwardly waiting because everyone else has dispersed at this point.
I'm sure we moved a distance away.
Yeah, there's no way that Callista would start talking about this if it wasn't
Yeah.
just us.
We're like under a tree somewhere near.
Yeah. I
Enjoying
mean, if
some-
somebody is magically spying on us, whatever, but I mean, like, I wouldn't be stupid enough to like be doing this around random people.
Nope.
But yeah, is there any other like important people that we didn't get a chance to talk to? Cassidy, I know you had kind of like a list of people you wanted to talk to, and now that we have more information about some of the stuff that's going on.
I had something I wanted to show you. But you go first, Cassidy.
Well, I mean, it looks to me like we got a whole bunch of time. Dinner starts at 6. Like, I mean, I'm okay showing up to dinner late because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of might have used a couple spells there to communicate with people. Wink. Wouldn't be bad for me to have them back. Although there's always people I want to talk to. I gotta look at my list of who's and what's. I would like to talk to the Fellini Collini again. He seemed to know what's up. That's the person with Crow. My notes here have him as Fedini La Carzone, the last third prince. But I think Fellini Collini sounds a little more fun.
Wait,
Daisy, that's your friend, right?
the person with Crow? Wait,
Yeah, Fellini Collini.
you didn't. Yeah, I know them. I haven't seen them in a long time, actually. Okay.
Do you want to?
You want to go?
Yeah.
You told me to talk to him. Remember, we were at the party.
That's
You
what. Oh,
You pointed at anybody in the room, and Crow was like trying to step to me, and I was like, "All right,
I didn't.
bird. Why do birds not like me?"
With the mask. Okay, yeah. Tizzy's very confused. Tizzy is just overwhelmed, very confused. Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
feeding
I
with
want to.
birds.
Fucking birds, man. Yeah, can we meet with them? Whenever is fine. But yeah.
I don't see why not.
Well,
Sure.
I want to do some sleeping. So as long as somebody wakes me up for the trade print, or not the trade print, the Prince of Lethad.
Yeah, I'll send him a note, and then I'll get like somebody to come wake you up.
I'll like yep.
Sure.
I think it's
It
fine.
probably won't be a problem. Immediately in my head, I'm just like, I get woken up and I Ray of Frost Tizzy, who then punches me, and just like all the magic happens.
That almost happened this morning. Do you not remember? You
Yes,
tried
very
to hit
much
me
so.
with Ray of Frost.
I was
thought it
naked
was
in the
fun.
hall. It was great. But
Was
did you
great.
have something to show us there, Mikey? You
Oh,
said
yeah. I know that one of the people that we've been wanting to speak to is Scalagug, and I had a plan in mind actually. I've been drawing up these plans for a replacement theater, but it's got some really cool things in it. Like it would have a concrete placement, which would make it fairly fireproof, but also really good in storms. And he could do his illegal activities act in there. It'd be harder to find. But also, I came up with this cool new system that like takes a bunch of the water from the boilers, like a bunch of the reservoir, and then you run it through pipes in the ceiling, and it'll like rain inside. I would
Okay.
love to try it out in a building.
so. You're, just to be clear, because I know how you feel about certain things, and I know you get kind of excited about inventing things and whatnot, but you
I mean,
realize
yes.
that this would be like helping a criminal organization.
Yes, but it would maybe be good enough to overcome some of the debt, because like
Oh,
we did burn down
absolutely.
his theater in the
I
first
just
place.
wanted to make sure that you were okay with it and had thought
also,
through the ramifications.
If I'm the one who drafted the plans, and those plans accidentally wound up in the hands of someone who should know about them, that's a thing that could happen.
I like that. I shouldn't probably attend that meeting because I think he's had enough of me. So yeah.
Do we
if
know
you're-
you talked to him?
No,
Okay, told us.
but one of you
Must have
saw me
specifically
talk
led him
to.
out in disguise, correct?
Yeah, I did. Like nobody knows that I did that.
Yeah.
That
Probably better. if
being said,
one of it, if
somebody
not
was
all of us
around
are
when I
in there.
got.
Just in case he pulls something. Maybe if you have Stormy in. Then you
Yeah,
can
sure.
help if we need
Sure,
it.
that sounds good. I'll Oh, no, I'll send in Squiggles, and I'll do the familiar thing so that so Squiggles will be invisible so he doesn't know that somebody else is there kind of watching. And maybe I'll have some guards from the party ready just in case something goes wrong. We'll see what we can do there. But I sent a very strongly worded message through some underworld contacts. So I don't want to, if you guys are trying to negotiate, I don't want to kind of like taint those proceedings. So I think I should just not be there for this specific one, but I'll provide you guys backup.
Okay.
I think it's very weird that you want to give him plans to build a theater that would be harder to burn down, but I support you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of harder to build down, but also it's going to be a lot cheaper in the long run to rebuild. And if he's helping people who live on the streets, then maybe that'll give them a place to sleep, or a place for him to store drugs. But
probably that one.
The architect doesn't get to pick what happens in the buildings.
No.
Izzy and Mikey specifically, and Val as well, can you please roll me history or general wisdom checks?
All the 2 things I'm so good at.
You're the best at those.
Oh my God, I'm so good at wisdom.
Mikey, I will give you advantage because you lived in the black market district.
Awesome. I am real
Natural
good
20.
At history. Dang, Tizzy.
I have a mind like a steel trap.
Dang.
Only sometimes, though.
I only got a 14, so.
I remember
And
everything.
14.
Tizzy, you are the only one. You are aware, especially when you were staying at the boarding house down the street from where Mikey lives, the bar next door was Orcish mob owned, and a lot of the non-favored 4 is supported in the black market district. You would know by the Orcish mob. They give people jobs, they give people housing. Like if it weren't for that black market economy, a lot of goblins, a lot of orcs, a lot of furbolgs, folks who are not favored would have a real rough go of it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
But did they have to be doing crime?
I mean, that's what I was almost going to do until you guys showed up. So,
I mean, the difference between what we're doing in crime is like...
It's not a lot. To be
Look.
fair, it's not a lot.
But...
He's literally a pirate. Just saying.
The only difference between what I was going to be doing working for them and what I am doing working as a group with you is that now I have magic. That's it. I think I would still, maybe I kill fewer people working with you.
We're
Tizzy.
working on that. We're working to
Tizzy.
reduce the numbers.
Yeah, what's up?
Punch me in the shoulder.
Why?
You're outside by the lake. Is anyone going to back up before this might happen?
Mikey's like, whoop.
No, absolutely not.
Val will definitely back up.
Do you really? Like,
Yeah,
actually?
just punch me in the shoulder.
Why?
I don't know.
Curiosity.
Okay.
Gambling.
I mean, she's
All
also
right.
planning on going having a
she'll do
nap
it.
after this, so like, not a
Yeah.
lot of harm.
I just failed the check. Yeah, I just
Okay.
Yep.
Roll me a D100.
I just like present my shoulder.
Do you want damage?
just
you're
in
gonna
case
roll
you kill
1
me.
plus
Yeah.
strength. Well, it's yeah.
Okay,
so-
that's
oh,
a-
sorry. Yours is 1d4 plus if you're using your brass knuckles.
It's 1d4 plus 3. Is my unarmed.
So
It's 1d6 plus 3 for my ghost punch and gloves, but I did get a
Oh,
50 on that.
hey. Do you have Tavern Brawler?
Yeah.
That explains it. 50. Cool.
I'm remembering.
How
them.
far is everyone away?
Oh God.
Give them about like 15, 20 feet.
I'm probably
you fucking ran.
I'm at least 20 feet away.
We were having this
Okay.
nice conversation. She said, "Punch me," and you were like, "Fucking
Fool.
goodbye.
And
I
look-
will be going now."
Ouch.
I'm gonna get covered in bugs or butter.
Looking up and around, Cassidy's like, I'm walking over towards the guest house as if I belonged.
Okay.
Bye,
So-
Cassidy.
I need Tizzy, you specifically, to roll me 2d8 and then roll me a second 2d8, please.
Okay. 1, 2. That is a combined 13 for the first two,
Okay.
and then 16 on the second.
You got two.
Sorry.
You got 3 total 8s.
Yeah.
16 and what was the other one?
13.
Dang.
16 and
All right.
13.
So Callista, you and Tizzy both take 29, was it? Points of total damage as an enormous lightning bolt erupts from Tizzy's fist, arcing into you, Callista, into the ground and back up into Tizzy. There is a
Dead!
of thunder as there's a blast wave. The grass is charred black for a good 15 feet all around you. Pretty much everyone that is out on the garden is turning and looking at this.
I'd also like to point out that's 35 for Callista because I did hit her for 6 points of damage earlier.
I already did that. I'm still alive. It's okay.
That's it though. That's all that happens.
So what does friendship do?
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Friendship is currently how far away?
I can't really tell scale on the map. So like, I don't know.
Were you just starting to walk
30
away?
feet?
Yeah, this was all kind of going on, and Cassidy was like,
Cassidy was Irish goodbying it. And
yeah.
just,
Perfect. There is a ominous, that's bad.
I was hoping for like,
And-
that's bad.
And a second bolt of blue lightning arcs out from Friendship, connects with Tizzy. Tizzy, you take another 5 points of lightning damage as this second bolt of lightning goes and then hits you from the side from Friendship as well.
Tizzy, your magic is strong AF.
I have to
I'm
go
going
to
back
bed.
to bed.
I have to go to bed now.
Like he's like
Oh my
charging
God.
They're
at
both
you
black.
across the field.
Hi.
Do you need some healing? You're pretty charred there.
Yeah.
I'm already opening the jar and like dumping some of it on.
I
you.
am on 13.
Both of them are just black. The soot is just.
I'm gonna. I have 2 charges
just
of
like-
heal left. I'm gonna slap one on each of you.
Thank you.
All right.
I
Roll
would
my
like to go to
spells.
bed now, I think.
The
So-
attendant
You need to
comes
heal
over
you?
from the ring and is like, can I
15
like sees
hit points to
Michaelius.
Tizzy,
15. Hell yeah.
and only 11 for Callista.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah,
going to
fuck
sleep.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
This poor attendant is like kind of just letting Michaelius do their thing, has no idea how to help here.
Also, Mikey's slathering like weird purple bubbles on everyone, and it seems to help.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. I'm going to sleep.
Bye.
Have a good rest.
You should, if there's an attendant anywhere nearby, Tizzy just kind of turns
Yes.
around and is like, the weather is terrible and you should really get that looked at.
Mikey is going to
Please.
set Pico to guard, to like follow Tizzy and guard her as she
Okay.
sleeps.
We're gonna go
Tizzy,
to bed
can
now.
you roll me a persuasion or deception check, please?
Why? He should fix the weather.
Try turning the weather on and off again.
Clearly, that was the fault of this garden
That's a
and
7.
not you.
You see this attendant does pause and like does a half second where they look up at like the magical protections.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with it. You should probably look at it. It's weird. Gotta go.
Just like stammering, not even sure, but like looking for help. Like looks up, looks down at the black spot as you folks kind of wander away.
Got smited.
Cassidy, you are reaching the guest house at this point, and there are guards and shadow blacks everywhere. Before you even get near the door, 2 or 3 shadow blacks have materialized out of the bushes nearby and are going to intercept.
hello,
Just puts up a hand.
high five. It's like, just walking. It's like I have an orange vest on, so I'm just making it look like I belong.
You can't be here.
But I am here. Maybe you can't.
The guest house is off limits for the duration of the event.
Okay.
All guests. and is barring your way. You see two of them kind of take a step back. They've exchanged a glance with the two at the door, who are Silver Star mercenaries.
Mhm.
Are you trying to push past all 5 of these people?
No, I'm just. So there's no aggression here. Just take it easy, is what I would say. But I bet you one thing will happen before the end of this event. I'll be invited into this guest house.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. I hope you guys like the drinks and other things that we sent you from the party the other night. Did you get any notes?
Roll me a general charisma check.
Charisma. Oh, 23.
There's a pause, and one of the two in the back looks kind of nervous all of a sudden. It's a younger dwarven woman, and she kind of is a shadow black, but takes a step back, is looking around for other dangers at the moment.
They weren't like sketchy. They were just to be friendly. Because I don't know, you guys always have to stand around and be so serious, which I get because you have a serious job, I think. I don't even know what you do, but it seems serious. Anyways, what was your name?
We protect the Kaiser.
So do I. Anyways, what was your name?
It's classified.
All right, classified. Well, I tell you what, I can see you later, and the Kaiser will probably invite me in. It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'll wait for his orders.
Sure. Okay, you do that. You're very good at standing here and flexing. Right, Friendship?
Hi, I'm Friendship.
I know. Cool. Weird. All right. Bye.
The dwarven woman has left to go chat with one of the door guards in like a hushed voice, but the other two stand and watch you go. Their hands are on their short swords. They have 2 pairs, or sorry, they actually do have 2 pairs. One on their hips and one on their backs.
Yeah. You guys sure are trigger happy. You must be bored or something. I'm just a little fun with nothing on my hands and a silver ball floating around behind me. Anyways, see you later.
So they're standing and watching you go.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Don't let your eyes linger too long, gentlemen. Yeah. I will sashay a little bit.
Okay.
It's like an over the shoulder, like, hey boys.
Roll me a
Wiggle your
persuasion
tail.
check.
Persuasion? I'm bad at persuasion.
I know. One day it'll get a nat 1 though.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't it auto turn to a 10?
It does. 22.
College of Eloquence.
Which was?
You do see
Yeah.
they actually turn and go back. They seem a bit quailed by your last comment and vanish into the bushes again. As quick as Val might.
Cool. All right. Jerks. Press those buttons. Cool. I guess everybody's like
Everyone's taking
gone.
We need a little
afternoon
light
source.
out.
Like
Yeah, Mikey's wandering the gardens, but they are trying to track down one of the attendants and send off a couple messages to set up some
Easy
meetings
enough.
for this afternoon.
Mhm.
You do manage to find an attendant in the main fountain in the center of the garden. Immediately goes over. Yes.
If you could deliver this one to I forget the Prince of Lathod's room number.
I can make sure it reaches him. Yes.
Oh, thank you. And then this one I don't have a room number for, but it is for Scalagug.
Yes, that's the orcish fellow. Yes.
Yeah.
Not Keelragan. Yes. And takes that one as well. I will make sure he receives it.
Thank you. And I'll pass him a silver.
Takes it. This attendant is actually a blue dragonborn.
Oh, cool.
Which is somewhat out of the ordinary.
That's very
exist
unusual.
everywhere in Winter's Crest, and definitely seems pleased to offer service to you. This is a pretty cushy gig that they've landed. Most of the other attendants have been favored for, you've noticed.
Yeah.
So, anything else folks want to do aside from take a snoozer? The attendant bustles off.
I would have been trying to meet up with Bedini La Corzone, the last trade prince.
Okay.
There was a mention of high tea.
Well, also
Tea
high
is
tea.
going on currently in the dining hall.
I was
Mikey's
going to
gonna
go do high tea and then nap.
Nice. Mikey will
Wait.
join you then. They're just kind of like
order?
drifting in to smell things because it smells lovely. And to pretend to sip tea.
All right. Sorry, Tizzy, were you?
No, what order are we doing stuff in? It's just my question.
We'll do high tea, we'll do Carzone, and then we'll jump back and hopefully reconnect as a group, question mark.
At around 4.
Can I ask real quick, do the Silver Star mercenaries have like a lapel logo?
They do. They have a
Thing?
little silver on their collar on the inside of the right. They have
Okay.
a little silver. Otherwise, they look like most of them are wearing leather armor, packing short swords, light crossbows, sort of deal.
Okay. And then the Shadow Blacks are just shadowy and black.
Shadow Blacks are wearing like pitch black leather armor, 2 pairs of short swords that are very, very elaborate, and wearing like black hoods, like very similar to what Val actually wears.
Okay. Oh, and I want to talk to the Fae at some point. Sorry, everybody. I want to talk to Lady Dawn Blossom.
How dare
All
you
right.
want to talk to people at a party?
Talk to the dragon.
So Michaelius and Val, you wander in. There is not a ton of people of note here currently. It seems mostly nobles, folks that were not interested in the sword fighting, who are taking it easy. Several people are gossiping. You see Cassie's friend Susie over in the corner with a couple of nobles, just chatting it up. Take a seat. You can join anywhere. Even the center table has plenty of room.
I have nothing in particular to do here.
Yeah, me neither. We're just
Val
gonna
wants
mingle.
my tea.
Mingle. Okay. Making your presence known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a couple of kind conversations.
Yeah.
Cassidy, where are you looking for Mr. Lacarzone, or are you arranging something?
I probably would have made arrangements with an attendant and like, Carzone, come meet me by the fountain. I don't know.
So you're lingering out at the fountain.
Just
You
looting
wait.
it up.
So it takes about an hour, and you're kind of wandering. Several people stop to ask you several inane questions. You seem to be something of a celebrity. Everything from similar to the questions you were asked a long time ago by Eustace Lightfeather. Many of them involve fairy tales. They want you to confirm or deny things they've heard. A few of them asks what type of fae there are.
And I let them all know as a Fae, I speak on behalf of every Fae that ever has been and ever will be. And so as a result, everything I say could or could not be believed by you, but it's up to you. But there's one thing is for sure. If you see one person that looks like something, they know everything about people that look like them.
Cassidy just having to deal with
people-
like Fey microaggressions all day.
Yeah.
Pretty much. She's
Loves it.
very
bro.
much attracting attention.
Mhm.
And about an hour later, Fedini hobbles up. You notice that his bodyguard is with him, the person with the kind of feathery effect and the mask.
Is he hobbling because he's old or because he's hurt?
He's old.
Okay.
Even for, I believe he's half elven. Even for a half elven man, he is quite on in years. Getting to end of life here. He was old already about 25 years ago, but it's kicking in. And he is using a fairly elaborate cane, it looks like. Still wearing a beautiful 3-piece suit. He's stopped to get himself in pristine condition to talk to you. Several pieces of gold jewelry. He's got, a monocle kind of tucked in a pocket, and comes up in his pine syrup suit. Miss Thorne.
Mr. Lacarzone.
And he comes in and he gives you a polite kiss on the back of your hand. He goes, shall we walk?
I mean, we don't have to. If you want to just sit, you can, but we can.
I like the garden air. It gives me invigoration. Let's
okay,
go.
just don't get us lost in the maze.
He takes you on the long kind of ambling path towards the pond. You see him stop and look at the black mark on a patch of the grass.
Yeah, that was my friends.
Yes, I heard a big thunderclap. That's what that was.
Yeah, my friend has thunder punches. She calls it the thunder kiss.
Pew! Roll a deception check.
Uh-oh.
It's not a deception check. It's just a truth that isn't true yet.
It's just it's a truth I believe. It's a
Preemptive
statement I
truth.
believe. 18.
Seems to buy it.
Yeah.
You
might not call it the Thunder Kiss, but you could. But it actually, I think it was our friends. I didn't really see, but I know friendship here got pretty sassy and said that's bad, and then zapped my buddies.
Yes, such a miraculous artifact. Where did you find it? And he's looking up at friendship.
In the Briarwood Forest, I think, and some sort of once we moved something and it came flying out, and then I tried to catch it and it squashed me. But then it came back and now follows me around.
Is that why your name is the Briarwood Brave? Because you survived the Briarwood Forest?
They asked it, we needed a name. They were like, you need a name. And we hummed and hawed, and we were going to be like Cassidy Thorne and the Roaring Dragons, Cassidy Thorne's friends that are awesome, but don't forget about Cassidy. I think we were like Flying Sexarella Pirates was another one. There was like Pirates for Justice, but we'll steal your booty, wink. There was a whole bunch of them. One was just like a whole bunch of symbols, like 2 dots, and then kind of like a half circle. I didn't really understand that one. Iconography is not my thing.
I understand. You are a very interesting party. You've become the talk of Winter's Crest.
I don't know. That's kind of the way it goes, I suppose. Why? Like, is that abnormal that people talk about heroes in Winter's Crest?
Well, everyone has their favorites, of course. You get dolls made for children, and people idolize them. Some become heroes because of their idols.
Oh,
What made you want to become a hero?
I wouldn't even say that I want to become anything. I'm just kind of living life, walking around, doing stuff, and I don't know. People seem to like that and talk about that, and it's always fun. But it's not a hard thing to do. Do you really just kind of talk to people and do stuff, and then apparently you get called a hero? It's new to me.
I do like to talk to people. I understand.
Well, there you go. So you're a hero. You did it. See, I'll just tell everyone you're a hero.
Oh, to some I'm a villain.
Well,
To some I might be a hero.
To some, I'm a monster. I believe I was called a foul beast when I first met Hustagar. Was that what I was called? I can't remember exactly. Friendship, do you remember?
Hi, I'm Friendship.
No, not today. Well, yes, your friendship today, but no, you don't remember today. Sorry.
Hi,
yeah.
I'm Friendship.
You sure are, my friend. I'm going to write down hero dolls in my notepad because that is something I will have to look into.
Gonna get that
myself.
sweet merchandising deal.
Mhm.
May or may not be a Winter's Crest random event table that has something to do. Anyways, Lacarzana is very intently listening to you, and you notice he's asking these questions with good intent.
Okay.
Very much you're getting looks from onlookers. This young fawn kind of leading on this older half-elven man, doddering along with his cane, followed by a bodyguard. So people are taking note of you two chatting with each other.
Sure. Take all the notes you want. I do have to say, I think my one friend knows your friend, Crow. I don't know if Crow's your friend.
Yes.
I know Crow is not my friend because Crow apparently doesn't like me very much, but Crow, it's all
does
right.
not like anyone. They entered my employ through not excellent circumstances.
Like they had a bad reference, but still did well in their interview.
There were people after them, and I made those bad people go away.
See, you are a hero.
To some. I employ them now as an errand person. They can hold themselves in a fight. They're not primarily supposed to fight.
Yeah,
I have some healing talent as well.
That's kind of like me. I can hold myself in a fight. It's like towards the end of the fight, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get you, and then the thing eats me, and then my friends cut it open, and I come out. That happened one time. I think I got swallowed by a skeleton, maybe a big skeleton monster. I don't even
Attack
know
from
anymore.
within, it is a good strategy.
I tried, but my friends were like, "No, not today," and killed it. Anyways, we got some of its bones. We're making them into helmets and weapons and cool stuff like that. But I gotta
You
ask,
are great heroes. I would not expect anything less.
we're just, I don't know, just living a life. It's what you gotta do. I think that was in the
You've
Hungry
reached the
Cave.
pond
Anyways.
at this point.
Yeah.
He takes a couple of stones and skips a couple of stones. He's not looking directly at you, but he's listening.
Yeah, I will skip stones with my mage hand. As I like, and same thing, just like like have my notepad out, but there's just like rocks floating up and then going like and skipping along. So I'll admit that you've piqued my curiosity when you talked about magical items, and I just was wondering what that might entail.
Well, I know that adventurers, heroes from the Heroes Guild always have need of such items, and the war has made it quite difficult to find anything of such value. But I do have my connections where I can get you things that you might desire. They might cost, but I can get things that you might not be able to find anywhere else through my networks.
That's certainly intriguing. And when you say they might cost, I'm presuming someone of your stature is not so worried about gold values. You might be, I don't know.
I have not needed gold for many years. Money is, when you become a man like myself, it is merely means to ends.
That's all it is ever. Like, really. If you have no copper and you want a copper and you need a copper to buy something, then you get a copper and you buy something. It's just I needed that to do that. That's all.
A woman after my own heart, Miss Thorpe.
I guess. I don't know. Money's weird. I got a bunch of it. We just use it for stuff.
I'm willing to trade in collateral. I'm willing to trade in favors. I do not need money. I will simply leave business open to interpretation. And if you would like to come to me with a request, we can discuss further if you know exactly what you are looking for.
Well, I kind of do. I've heard tell that there's some really interesting circlets. I think they're called, little like tiara. They're pretty, which is nice, but they also make you really book smart. And I would like to be really book smart. Or than I am. Book smarter than I am. Or there's like a little flinch from how stupid she sounds.
Roll me an insight check, please. He is studying you. He's quietly just nodding along with your words.
16.
You can tell he's keeping track of almost every single word you say. He has not written a single thing down, but he has been intent on you this entire time. And he nods and he goes, I have heard of many things that can change a person's attributes. Books one can read, items one can wear. I will put out some feelers. Where could I contact you when I find such an item?
If you know how long it might be, I could just contact you then. Through the power of our minds. I mean, or you could do that if you can do that, but I can do that.
I must confess, I have no personal magical ability, no.
Well, you could also, I'll just talk to Fermora. Because I genuinely don't know where we're going to go. The place we're staying at, there's heads getting delivered. Then they're like, no, we're going to move you. But then someone else is like, you should move to the Noble Quarter because you're so cool. But then we're like, we got to go to Greasy Knuckle and deal with some things. And then there's also, I don't even know. I think we're getting on a boat or something. We're going to go sailing. There's a lot. I can't even remember. I can't keep track of it all. Plus, generally what happens is we're like, we're going to go do this thing. And then like 3 other things happen. We're like, whoa, look at these things over here. There's like a vampire hero here. We got to go talk to him. So I'll talk to Fermora though. And we could like put it on retainer that you can send a message to me wherever I am.
Oh yes, of course. I will pay for such messages to be sent.
Sure. You don't have to pay for the first one. You could just be like, Ghastheim, it's me. Call me back. And I will. And then I can, because I can do it.
I will make sure the college is compensated for their work. You understand, men always pays for well work done.
Sure. I guess the thing for consideration, of course, is before you go through all the effort of finding these wonderful things, one, I gotta talk to my friends because they might think this is super cool. They'll probably tell me it's a bad idea. They tell me everything I do is a bad idea. It's fine. It's not. They're just ideas. They're just things. But what would it be that you would be looking for as far as a remuneration goes?
Well, it depends on how common the item is. If I can find the item, if it is one of a kind, we are talking, well, a fairly large favor. There are a number of things I can send you to do. Heroes work, of course.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if it is plentiful, perhaps we could make some sort of deal for your ear, should I need it. I like to have the contact information of capable people.
Like, we'll have to be very specific once we work this out. Do you physically mean you will cut the ear off of my head, or do you mean you would like to be able to speak with me about things?
I mean, I would like to be able to speak with you and have a relationship. Where I am from, everything is based on commerce, you see.
Mm-hmm. That's what everything is based off of. People pretend it's not. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is bad. Oh, that's right. That's wrong. This is expensive. This is cheap. Whatever. This is just, things just are. It's all commerce.
It's not like I'm used to, but I understand your point. But when I find out how difficult it might be to procure this item, if I can even find it,
sure,
then we can discuss from there.
Okay. And I do got one more question, and then I'm probably going to go lie down because, well, I'm lazy. But
he's a party.
Is Crow allowed to talk to my friend if my friend was so inclined to speak with Crow and Crow was so inclined to speak with my friend? Can Crow speak? I don't know. Would you allow that?
Crow does not speak anymore. But I can have them come and listen should you need them.
Are they? Sorry, Crow, I know you're right there. I feel weird talking about you. I just don't really understand what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to pretend like this is how I'm supposed to talk to you. So can Crow not speak, or they just don't speak?
Roll me a general charisma check.
I'm going to get killed by Crow. 18.
There's a pause. And the person behind the mask stares at La Carzone like quite deeply. And La Carzone, you catch a very small nod. And then the mask pulls up a bit. The bodysuit is pulled down and the feather effect comes down with it. And the throat, you see, has a number of several quite vicious scars across the majority of the throat.
Yikes. Okay. Well, okay. So they can't verbally vocalize their things. That's okay. We can figure it out. I've got like weird flying things that can talk to you in your mind. I can talk to you in your mind, of course. We'll figure it out. We could write things down if we want. But I suppose
would do.
Yes. Sure. Is Crow, well, I guess. So I think it turns out my friend that talks a lot can't actually write things down and can't read them. So she'd be like, Crow, it's so good to see you. And Crow would be like, I hate you so much. And they look at it and be like, oh, I guess this is good news. So we'll figure it out. But if you're okay with it, I'll talk to them and see if they're okay with it. And then they can maybe, I don't know, assuming they're not like mortal enemies. I don't know what's going on.
Miss Thorne. It is nothing. Crow is at your disposal.
Okay. Cool. Well, great, I guess. I'm really curious to see what my friends are up to. I just kind of like walked away on them. I tried to go into the guest house. They're like, you're not allowed in here. And I was like, we'll see about that. I'm going to get an invite. Then they put their hands on their swords.
I would not push it. That is where the Kaiser is staying.
No, I know. Yeah, I know the Kaiser. We do stuff and things sometimes.
I like you, Miss Thorne. I would not want you hurt.
Well, I haven't done anything that should get me hurt, although that doesn't mean I won't get hurt. So I appreciate that. I mean, I didn't go in there guns blazing. Well, let me in. I just kind of walked up and said hello, and they said, you're not allowed in here. And then I was like, yeah, sure, okay, but I will be invited. And they were like, I don't think so. And then I told them not to look at me too much as I left, and they all blushed and disappeared. I think that's probably what happened.
I could probably arrange a meeting with the Kaiser if you have need of one.
No, I mean,
He
I
is
can. It's all right.
currently in my debt, somewhat, you could say.
Interesting. We might have further conversations. But I do have some other people to talk to. I got to talk to some of the fae folk that are here.
I understand. I understand. You have your own business. I have other business to attend to as well. It has been lovely walking the gardens with you, Miss Thorne.
Indeed.
I am at your service should you ever need it.
All right.
And he bows his head, takes your hand again, gives it another kiss.
Thank you. Thank you. Crow, take it easy. Or don't.
There's
do
a
whatever you
nod
want.
from-
I don't know.
from Crow.
All right. Check this out. I'm just gonna like start mirthfully leaping. Bing, boing. Hey herk, hey herk. Off I go.
The fact that
All
that's
right.
your like perambulation of choice. I forgot
It's
the word
very
for
good.
walk and chose to say perambulation. Anyway,
You're fancy.
I love it. So flashback to Val and Mikey having some tea. Mikey, what were your instructions or meetup kind of?
My letter for the Prince of Lethad was just a something to the effect of, I don't wish to presume on your time, but I am at loose ends this afternoon. We'll probably be walking around enjoying the gardens. If you wish to have tea at any point to discuss shared interests, let me know. My party would also like to accompany me if you are available this afternoon at 4. If you wish to talk before that, I am available and always up for conversation.
Okay. So you would actually see the prince would be coming out of a meeting with La Carzone. So it would take about an hour. And you would see the prince parting ways. La Carzone is headed out to the garden. It looks towards the fountain where you last saw Casti. And the trade prince kind of comes in, see him, has the letter pulled out of his pocket, kind of waves over and comes and sits with you across. Order some tea. Yes, hello.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to meet you.
I must say this party is not what I expected from you Ghastheimians. It is much more civil. Is it true? The stories of children disappearing in the dark?
Oh, I mean, Ghastheim's very well. There's a reason they call it Ghastheim. Let's just put it that way. I imagine things here are very civil because it's, well, mostly nobles, but also everyone's on their best behavior.
Yes, aside from the ones drinking last night, yes?
Oh, yes. I mean, it is also a party.
I don't drink myself.
Me neither.
And raises the tea to clink. I am curious. I would like to hear of Rostov. A
Oh,
land of such forward thinking.
well, I
What
mean,
is
I
it
was born and raised there. So I can tell you about how it's very different from Ghastheim. For one thing, it's a lot colder. It's very warm here, especially now that it's summer.
Yes. It is even
But-
warmer in Lethad, you could believe.
I can't imagine. It seems so very warm here to me. But yeah, we have a lot of different. In Ghastheim, there seems to be a lot of nobles and like real divide between the citizenry and the nobility. Where in Rostov, that's very, very much not the case. I'm sure you've studied Rostovian politics before.
Yes, from the history books, it seems that Rostov split from Ghastheim, what was it, 3 centuries ago, yes?
Oh, a long time ago.
And won the war that came after. That is what the Infinite Graveyard is from, yes? Or the
Yeah.
origins of it.
Yes, very much so. Which, whew, I've been there myself now, and it's quite the place.
Well, 20 to 30 years of separation war will do that. So, this country is young. What happened to the nobles? Were they simply sent back to Ghastheim in fetters, or?
Some of them. Others chose to embrace the philosophy that was being espoused by the leaders of Rostov at the time. I'm sure you know that Rostov is all about the equality between all peoples.
I like the idea, yes. We are still backwards, I must confess, in Lethad. We find coin in selling lives to slavers.
I know that several of my friends are quite opposed to such things, having close run-ins with it themselves.
As am I must state. I very much disagree with my father on that front.
Well, that's a good thing. I imagine it must be difficult between you.
I know that Lethad has declared neutrality outside of commerce, but I must say I do hope that for all its problems, Ghastheim wins this war. I would not like a country like the Empire of the Sun, or what we used to call Vestarios, to grow with its trade.
No, I know that Rostov feel very similarly.
Yes, I do believe you share a border with the lawless territories, yes?
Yes.
Is that where you, have you ever fought
I
against the
mean,
warlords to stop the slave trade to the Justari and the Empire?
not myself, but I was actively involved in building the Endemauer. So I'm a dual citizen. Yes.
Made of, what is that stone?
Oh, concrete.
Yes, what is, and it has metal inside it?
Yes. Mikey will now go off on a very technical discussion of the building techniques of concrete, and how it's common usage in Rostov. First pioneered by the name of the inventor, but used very commonly to quickly construct buildings that are needed, especially against the cold winters.
He's going into it with you. He's like
Yeah.
passing off sandstone kind of construction techniques from down in Lethad,
Yeah.
the palace, etc. Val, are you
nice.
listening to all this, or are you kind of zoning out?
We're very much nerding out at this point.
Val is actually zoned out.
Val is actually zoned out.
So
That
that's
was
the
so
question.
far.
All right, what?
I'm pretty sure everybody else is asleep, and the only
Yeah, I
person
think-
who's there is Mikey.
Yeah, probably
Yes.
Val went to bed
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, like
So Val,
after-
are you headed
So
off?
we're just chatting.
After...
Yeah.
All right.
Excuse
so you
yourself when
folks take
Prince comes over.
the next hour. This does take up quite a lot of time. You guys get into some quite scientific topics.
Cool.
Several nobles kind of try to keep up from the sides, you can tell, and then very quickly give up. And soon enough, 2 rolls around, 3 rolls around, and you and the prince are sitting together still at about 4 when you're supposed to be meeting with the rest of your party.
At shortly before 4, I'm sure Mikey's got a watch on them because they're an artificer. They would have got attracted the attention of a servant, probably when their watch beeped to let them know that they should be getting their friends up, and they'll send somebody out to go and like knock on doors and wake up the party, and
Perfect.
say meet them here.
The courtesy call goes out.
Yep.
Attendants knock at doors. Everyone is gathering. Is there anything you folks would like to do before you come down to join your party?
Tidy up. That's it.
Oh, absolutely. Took a shower. Like
Short rest?
short rest.
How long do
You could fit in a
Rest?
short rest for sure.
How, would I have been able to sneak a long one in if I'm late for the party?
If you wait another 2 or 4 hours, yeah.
2 or 4.
Yeah, 2 or 4.
Because
Like,
it's
that's pretty
about
broad.
2:30 in the afternoon right now, so you would need 8 hours or 6 hours with very minimal downtime in and around that to sleep, rest, etc.
Cool.
And that's like pushing it is 6 hours.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll short rest it.
McCrae, before the rest of the party shows up, this is Alina asking and not Mikey, because Mikey doesn't notice this when they're in full nerd out mode. But Mikey doesn't realize that they're flirting at this point.
The prince
they-
is very
They
much
very much are.
a lot of these kind of questions are going on and rolling into this conversation. And
Cool.
whether Mikey picks it up or not,
They definitely don't.
My sibling's gonna be royalty.
It's not often that they get to have like this deep of an academic discussion with somebody and he's keeping up. So they are very into it.
there are only about 3 or 4 people at this entire party that could. So yes, this is very much hinted at. The
Right.
prince, as the rest of you are coming into this, is leaning forward on both hands, which you know in the thought is you don't get close to people. It is very formal, stiff. You hold yourself back when in polite conversation. And the prince is not quite over the table, but definitely leaning towards this dragonborn.
And Mikey doesn't realize it either, but they're like full on gesturing with their hands and getting like really animated, and their tail is like flicking under their robes.
Who would probably show up first?
I mean, I want to say
Feel
me just
free
because
to,
I
like,
want
insight
to.
if
I
you
want to
notice
watch
this.
this.
All right. Tizzy, you wander in.
I want to insight this. I want to know what's going on.
All right, roll me an insight check.
I'm bad at this. Yeah, that's a 7. I don't know what's going on. Like, oh,
You're talking
Mikey
about
looks really
really-
happy.
Really complicated stuff, it looks like.
Damn it.
All
Hi,
right,
Mikey.
who's after Tizzy?
I'll come in
geez.
next. And oh yeah, you have your thing. Sorry.
Oh no, I was
Uh,
just saying hi.
Feel free to
Hello.
come in.
This is
Oh, this is Betsy. This is my sister, and adopted, obviously, but
No,
no, yeah,
we're blood relatives.
yeah.
roll deception check.
It's an 18. Can I gaslight a prince?
The prince raises an eyebrow but doesn't say anything.
And then Callista will basically walk in and just be like, "Hey guys, Your Highness."
He bows his head very respectfully, and you see him kind of straighten up as people start arriving. Please, you don't need the formalities. You can call me Jazar.
I'd like to clarify that generally speaking, I don't use formalities, but somebody who has the vision that you have deserves the respect.
A vision, I don't know about that.
You live in an area where the ideas are not forward thinking, and you're able to see through that upbringing and see to a more enlightened situation for your people. That to me deserves my respect.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
I'm good with
It
Jazar.
is what I would expect from any son of any royalty, be it Thrask or be it Garganta. You travel, you learn the world, you see other cultures, you understand.
And yet, so many nobles are really.
Well, it is not even the nobles. The nobles are on my side in the thought. It is my father. He cannot pull the idea of coin for his treasury away from his old-fashioned thinking. They are connected, and
Well, I can
well-
imagine that he's built his rule off of the rules that he knows best, and he doesn't really understand that the future is changing things. I imagine that very, very soon we're going to see an economic shift where that sort of thing isn't viable anymore.
Do we
love
know
my
how
father.
old? Do we know how old he is? Like, is he like, is it
father?
the father? Yeah, is the father like on his deathbed kind of thing, or is he like hale and hearty, like good to go? Like where's
Callista and Val, because you're from a port town, can you roll me history or general charisma checks, please?
I'm pretty sure the charisma.
I mean, one of those things I have a modifier for.
I mean,
22.
Val's arcane trickster, you're warlock, so. Callista, you would know that the Sultan is very old. It is a human line. The prince is a dark-skinned man himself, without hair, a nice cropped beard, elaborate jewelry, of course, as befitting royalty. His father is still ruling. The crown prince is heir to the throne. However, no one knows when he might pass away, the nobles are kind of trying to ally themselves either with the wishes of the current sultan and the crown prince simultaneously. It's a bit of an awkward situation, and pretty much the entire world globally knows that they don't see eye to eye on some things.
Would there have been conversations like, or rumor mill conversations, in the sense of like, is the father intentionally staying, like, because theoretically if you're saying he's that old, he could have stepped down and like abdicated to his son, so is he like staying in power because of his son's ideals, or is he just like staying in power because he wants to until he dies? Is like, what's the general?
It's a money thing. Currently the Lethod is a primary source of slaves in addition to the warlords of the neutral territories and the lawless territories, and they're selling conscripts to the Empire of the Sun to be used as foot soldiers, and to the Justari as well, where they're used in gladiator bouts in both countries. And Lethod is making immense amounts of coin from this, which has led to the prolonging of the Sultans stepping down.
So functionally speaking, as far as Callista knows, there's not really a situation where the father's going to like peacefully step down and let his son rule. It's probably like something would have to,
he might have
like
to
either
die of old age,
or a
before-
very large political shift would have to happen where that money's not coming in or something like that. Okay, thank you.
Him to step
And-
down.
You can tell the way that the crown prince Jadartha has been speaking. Definitely the war here has geopolitical ramifications for Lethod. Lethod is kind of hinging on what ends up happening, because if obviously the Empire of the Sun wins and then there's only Rostov left in Junland that is non-slavery, so Lethod is playing the political game a little bit. You can tell the Sultan is anyway.
And Ghastheim, for all its faults, is non-slavery as well.
Is non-slavery. It's
like
racist as shit. It's super
borderline
colonialist.
It's slavery in
It's-
everything but name, essentially.
But not actual slavery.
Not actual slavery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Actual slavery is outlawed.
So that was all in the head, but so
How,
yeah.
what did you roll?
Sorry.
What did you roll? Sorry, in all that.
I just assumed
You
I
would
did.
know the gist of the kind of fight between the crown prince. So you're not going into this blind.
So Callista is going to say, and Cassidy's not here, right? Cassidy's asleep. So
Cassie's finishing her conversation
Gotcha.
and then getting a short rest.
So Callista, like, we feel very strongly as a group about the rights of people. That seems to be one of the things that brings us together. That and random ghost punching.
Ghost
And ghost punching, yes. And I don't elaborate. I just assume that he knows what that means.
Mentioned that trip to the endless graveyard.
I feel like I like pull my fists up and I just imagine Mikey's hand just like, no,
like, no.
we're not going to talk about it
don't
actually.
don't need to touch ghosts here.
And I just barrel through assuming that he understands what ghost punching is. And I'm like, we see a lot of the corruption that has set in Ghastheim. We're working to help the people who are opposed to that, but there may come a time where it's no longer safe for us to be here. It would be good to know that we have allies, and we would definitely like to foster any relationships that if we could help with your vision, I think that would be mutually beneficial.
I understand what you're asking me. You are not hoping for political asylum should you stage something reckless as a revolution, no?
We are not that deep into that territory, so that's not. You would hear from us if it got to that type of point, but we do have a plan that is less drastic than what you just mentioned, in terms of like a safe location if Ghastheim becomes a bit volatile, shall we say.
That I
and
can arrange. If it's not an official Lathadi commission, I can make sure you have somewhere to stay.
I think you've obviously enjoyed your conversations with Mikey, and I think that you know that our kind of goals here are to make life better for everyone beyond just the privileged few that can afford to come to these parties or that can happen to have the birth of the favored four. Tizzy here is and Mikey are, and literally all of our party except
Betsy.
for like me and Val. The favored four, there's no difference. We are all people. And we see the trends that are going on here, and we don't want them to continue. But since Ghastheim is such a powerhouse, we also don't want to destabilize a country that does not hold slavery as a power. So we're treading lightly.
Yes, if we were over in Accra, it would be a different story. The Kingdom of Flowers, even the, for all its backwardsness, Virgo as well, they are forward-thinking nations, but
Somebody.
bye. But
Mikey?
he just drops. The magic
Mikey-
just stops.
Mikey
Guys,
just
for the
dies
stream,
at
looking
the
like
table. Mikey dies at the table.
No.
Mikey just like
Mikey's
unceremoniously
already dead.
go to the
Undead.
bathroom? Where'd they go?
So, Junland is an interesting place, especially with the lawless territories to the east.
You may know by rumor by now, or been able to tell, that I'm from Freeport, and we generally have policies of meritocracy, so to speak. And
Yes.
there is unfortunately some people there who are, well, most people, to be honest, are more driven by profit than ideals, but you're no stranger to that.
Yes, unfortunately. Well, I can promise you my own personal protection for whatever that is worth. Should you anger the enemies of my father, I cannot guarantee you much.
I think that at this point we know that you have your own troubles at home and you have your own concerns.
Hence
but-
being sent here, of course, banished.
Absolutely. But we just want to make sure that you know that in the future you have a strong ally in us. And if you ever need help, or if you need some things covertly done that are mutually beneficial, we may be able to help you with that. We do have some things of our own to take care of in the near future. So we might not be available after this event for a short while, but there's a lot going on in the world, and as the next months and potentially year or two occurs, I think knowing that we have each other may be very helpful in certain situations.
It is good to have allies in the middle of the chaos that is happening between Ghastheim and the Empire.
It's volatile times.
Yes, it is good to have friends. And reaches out a hand to shake your hand, Callista.
I eagerly do.
Is there anything else that you might need? And kind of, you see the eyes linger on Mikey for a bit.
I think that you were enjoying a wonderful conversation, and I've
Yes,
said the things.
concrete.
It seems that I've said the things that I needed to say, and thank you for responding in kind. I'll let you go back to your stimulating conversation. Thank you again.
Is anyone staying for this conversation as Mikey and the prince continue on? Otherwise, I assume you're going off to your rooms to get ready for dinner.
Yep.
Pat, can you do me a favor? Can you roll me a D100, please?
Is it?
Full on open mouthed.
21 as I use my fan to cool myself. I'm fancy.
It's not high
Are
enough.
you fancy?
No, that's not high enough. We are not allowed to go to break. We have to do the show forever now.
Oh,
Jokes on you.
I'm
I have
just
2
kidding.
fans.
so sad.
Oh, he has so many fans. I can't beat that. We are going to go to break. Go refill your tea, get some water, go and eat some food if you need to eat some food. Go hug a loved one.
I was Callista for 2 seconds.
It had to be
My,
Mike.
oh my god.
I don't know, draw some fan art, do the things. We will see you back here in about 15 minutes, give or take.
With some fixed technical stuff.
Goodbye.
We're live.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hello,
Actually?
Hello.
Okay.
my friends.
I was joking.
Cold opens
We're
aside.
actually live.
Cold opens. I love cold opens. What am I saying? By the pricking of my thumbs, something elegant this way comes. You folks are currently just wrapping up a conversation as a group with the prince, the crown prince, Jazar Jadartha of Lathad. He's heir to the Sultanate. And the rest of you are dispersing, having kind of made a tentative alliance with him. Michaelius, you are staying behind to have a bit more of a chat.
Am I? Cool. Yes. Like if the group is obviously going off to go do group stuff, I'll excuse myself. But
you have a couple of hours before dinner. It's only about
I
4 now.
don't need to change or bathe.
Just that musty smell here and there.
None of us need to do those things.
Did something die? Like, is something in the ceiling? No?
Don't have to worry about too much. Spill some tea on myself so I smell like tea.
So I'm very curious. How did you become a doctor originally?
Oh, I'm technically not a doctor. I do have some medical skill, but yeah, I wear this mask because it's a lot easier than just appearing in public like I normally would look.
I very much understand. I am often struggling when I live in Lathad to not be stopped in the street, and people ask you for help. They ask you for salvation. They ask you for escape. Sometimes it is easier to hide the face.
I imagine that must be really, really difficult. I'm not that famous, although I suppose we're famous now, but that's a pretty recent thing. That was after we did a couple big adventures.
Well, when the rumors started coming out of Winter's Crest a couple of months ago about a Feywild-led party of adventurers, well, I didn't believe them. And here we are.
Well, Cassidy's something wonderful. Like she's a very interesting person to know.
What is she like, in your own words?
She's unpredictable, but I think that's a lot of the fact that she is a Fae and that we have very different values sometimes. But she's also very, very smart. She's taught me a lot about talking with people that I wouldn't have known before. I don't tend to talk to especially fancy people like this.
So are those fairy tales, the stories they tell to children about letter of the law and deal making, are they true?
I think they are. I haven't had a lot of dealings with the Fae myself, other than Cassidy, obviously. But some of the things she said make me think that they're definitely not people you want to casually make a deal with, or definitely people you want to watch your words around.
I understand. How did you all come to be? How did you meet each other? Such an interesting and motley crew.
Well,
You see.
Well, it sounds like they, several of the group, except for my sister and myself, met before we did and formed the core of the group, adventuring through the Briarwood Forest, which I've only been to the edges of myself.
It is similar to the crystal fields we have, yes? Where the portals, the rifts in space and time become a bit more
Yes,
easy
I'd be
to...
very interested to research that place, actually. I've heard a lot about the crystal fields.
You do not want to go there. It is very dangerous. There's a reason that both Thrask and Lathad have basically given up trying to police anything but the edges of it.
I also imagine that my friend Lyodin would have a bit of a trouble with that.
There are so many rifts that not even a paladin of He Who Protects could possibly close them all.
I suspect that they have something to do with like precursor technology that was used in the area, and that's what I'd be there to research rather than the rifts themselves.
Yes, my father just had some sort of expedition sent to the northeastern desert, almost on the edge of the lawless territories.
Really?
Something was uncovered there, some sort of pyramid or temple of some sort. I'm not
Did you
sure
know
the
what they
details.
found?
No, it was just something buried in the sands.
Huh.
Another sandstorm swept through, as it normally does in the dunes, and uncovered something that was not there before. So my father sent his people in to at least do a preliminary excursion. They have not returned, as far as I'm aware. That was, a month ago now.
Well, I mean, precursor runes can be very, very dangerous. They have a lot of technology that we still don't understand yet. So,
Yes.
but
would have
I'd be
taken
very
them.
interested into hearing anything you might have to find out about it. I'm doing a little bit of a research on the precursor runes myself, trying to see what I can find.
You are from Rostov, you said, yes? Originally?
Yes, yes.
How does Rostov handle the secretive nature of the precursors? I know governments try to hide and hoard and
How do they, McRae? I imagine it's not a thing that's talked of.
can you actually roll me a history check,
I
please? With
can.
advantage, because you like the
Cool.
precursors a whole lot.
I really, really, really do. Glad I have advantage because that
What
was
do
a
the
nat
dice
1.
do? The dice
But
don't.
do the dice. That's a 15. If that's not sufficient, I've also got inspiration.
You would know, Michaelius, that not only are precursor items and ruins and such extremely rare across the planet. When they are found, they are usually kept as, state secrets for the most part. The nations use it to jockey. Baronest in Garganta, the capital of Garganta, is rumored to be built within ruins that have already been excavated.
Oh, really? Ooh. So yeah, I'll let them know. They're just not spoken of much, I think. They're sort of hidden from the general populace, which is kind of against Rostovian principles, but I understand that that's a thing that's commonly done with things that would, be against the common good.
Well, I can understand that leaders might not want, say, a dangerous super weapon in the hands of peasants when any kind of points upwards, where you would assume the shattered moon is kind of hanging.
Yeah.
And of course, not to mention our poor home is so full of holes.
Yeah. Well, they certainly could do great and terrible things, but I believe that they did more great than terrible in their time.
It is always up to who has the power, is it not?
Oh, always, always. I mean,
What?
No matter how much you know, it always comes back to politics sooner or later.
What would the Briarwood Brave do should they get such power?
Oh.
If you had the power of the precursors at your fingertips, what would your group of heroes do?
Mikey's very glad that they are wearing goggles because their eyes have widened a lot. Because they're like, oh, we maybe already did a couple times, and maybe I'm wearing one of their cloaks right now. They don't say any of that out loud.
Also, he asked the wrong question. It's not what would we do, it's who would we do.
And
God
that's
damn it.
anybody who's
Also just what we've done with zero power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad.
Gosh, I don't know how to answer that. Like we generally, I'd like to think of us just as like, humble adventurers. We all come from humble backgrounds, and we're not really used to dealing with that kind of power.
Well, think on
Maybe.
it. I would
Cassidy
like
accepted.
to know your answer one day when you do have it.
You've given me a lot to think about. Thank you. This has been an excellent conversation. I haven't had rousing intellectual discourse like this in a long time.
I am
Rude.
at your disposal, Professor. And bows very deeply, takes your hand, and then kind of gets up and looks a couple of times back as he's kind of sweeping out of this dining hall. Gets caught by a noble near the door, pulled into a conversation.
Mikey's
then
heart
leaves.
does not beat, but if it did, it would be going fast.
Oh, that's so cute.
So by the time you folks wrap up your conversations, it's about 4:30. You have about an hour and a half if there's anything you'd like to accomplish together as a party before the official dinner and a formal announcement.
I'll go check in with the party.
I would want to ask Cassidy if she managed to talk to Crow. But I
Crow
don't
can't
know.
talk.
What do you mean Crow can't talk?
That's what I said. What do you mean Crow can't talk? And then they did this like nod, and it's all good. Oh yeah, Crow's literally all cut up in the neck area, and I don't think they can vocalize words. Then I was like, ooh, I know, Crow can write things down. Then I was like, but Dizzy can't read those things. But if you want to talk to Crow or like meet with Crow, it's cool. I asked, but I was like, no pressure. Maybe they don't want to meet. I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't know. You just said you knew them, and they got
Yeah.
weird. But you do weird things all the time, so I don't know.
Yeah. Mikey or Val or anybody, I guess, would you come with me to read them? We don't have to do it
yeah.
now. We can
Whenever.
sure.
schedule that. I would very much like to talk to this person though.
Sure.
Also, Calzone, super friendly. Is going to look for some magical items for me, and then might, no one's committed to anything. Everyone relax, but like we might either like tell everybody he's cool, or let him tell people he knows us, or he might ask us to do hero stuff. I haven't committed to anything because I was also like, oh, you can get magic stuff. I'll talk to my friends and see if they want magic stuff. So if you want some magic stuff, let me know. I got a new buddy.
Would he be able to sell magic stuff? Because we've got a bunch of cursed stuff that still may be good for the right hands.
I mean, probably. People are strange. Sometimes a cursed thing doesn't mean it's bad. Some of them just want to have it on the wall. I'm like, look at that. Don't touch it though. Whoa,
Well, I
whoa.
know a lot of researchers who would be really interested in looking at some of the things.
Speaking of cursed stuff, did you ever look at that ring that Val won?
Oh no, I can do that now while we're changing up for dinner.
Sure.
All right, you're
Get
casting
out my-
identify on this.
Yeah, I'll get out my wand and do the usual Ghostbusters scan thing on it.
Any ring with a face is probably cursed.
Also, Cassidy, we still have that like really creepy soul locket thing. Do you think maybe he could take a look at it to just see if he's familiar with what it is?
That is
I do not
mad
remember
cursed.
a soul
That's the
locket.
one
Well-
that we stole from Durak.
Yeah, it literally
Oh,
might be a
right.
phylactery,
That is
and
mad
we just
cursed.
don't know.
Right.
Well, I mean, possibly, but we could also talk to Femora. He's like the head of
We
the
did.
mages.
Femora didn't know what it was. Oh, you weren't. Out of character, you weren't there for that. Femora straight up did not know what this was. Like she knew it was like super magical, and she was able to tell us that there was a soul inside of it. But I think that was basically it. Is that correct, Corey, DM? Who could fill in the player who wasn't there that day?
Femora was aware it was necromantic magic, which is fairly taboo. Some wizards, like it's not forbidden to research or to learn, but for the most part, people in Ghastheim don't like necromancers, and so of course,
You're gonna
Femora
say
was a bit.
necklaces. I don't like necklaces.
Everyone hate them. Necklaces, amulets, get them out of here. No, necromancy specifically. So she knew it was magical. She could tell it was necromancy. She could tell there was probably a soul inside it, as necromancy is often trapping souls and raising the dead. Also,
And
bringing
we
people back
do
from
not
the
know whose soul we have, but we do
dead. You
have
don't
a
know
soul.
whose soul you have. You know it's a soul.
we've got a soul in a ring and a man in a bag.
The dusted man, yes.
You've never talked to the dusted man again.
I want to
Jeff.
use him as seasoning.
Durak's here. Oh my god, I
Ew.
just remembered Durak's here. We're wearing
Yep.
the shit we stole from him.
Can we wear the necklace to the party and just walk
I
in?
don't particularly want to put that
Just-
necklace on my
just
neck.
Flounce
Mm-mm.
past him.
You don't think that'd be a good idea to just go over and be like, "Oh, hello, very nice to meet you." I don't
No.
feel
I
like
have your
Tizzy's smart enough
phylactery
to
around
have
my
this
neck.
actual conversation. So
Well, tonight's not a costume
It's just
party
dinner,
night,
yeah.
right?
It's just a regular night, yeah.
It's a show, dinner and a show.
Val, this is amazing. Mikey will hold up the ring as they finish the ritual. This only once per person ever, but you can use it multiple times on different people. If you know their true name or a name that they go by and are known by, you can learn a secret about them. You don't get to know what that secret will be. It's just a random secret, but it'll whisper it right to you.
Neat.
I'll handle it back.
Cool. Well, if anybody else wants to go, I'll save mine for now. But if anybody else wants to go, just let me know.
So this is
Very
say that
good.
again. If you
How
know
does that
their
work? Hold on.
if
Their
you
true
know their
name.
true name, you get to know a secret about
If you
them.
know their real name,
A
their true
name,
name,
their name. Yeah.
their name that they go by. So again, in D&D, true name for demons and stuff, obviously devils, so on and so forth. Or if people are using pseudonyms. But if you know their actual name, you whisper their name into it, and once per living creature, you will get a secret of theirs. That because this is a religious item. It's via
question.
the goddess of masks.
Interesting.
Did Lyden has at some point told us whether or not the Kaiser is a demon or not? Like has done the
Not a
sense
demon.
thing around.
The Kaiser,
not a
the
demon,
Kaiser
right?
is not a
Hey.
demon. He has tiefling blood because he has the very tiny
That
nub
was it. Yep.
horns.
Right.
But does give off a very faint celestial aura, similar to sassafras.
Okay, so Callista's going to genuinely ask Mikey, do we think that and we know the Kaiser's name, like we know the Kaiser's official name. Do we think
do.
that the Kaiser, that is the Kaiser's name? Like for real?
I mean,
You can try it.
he was probably given
No.
that name at birth,
No?
I don't.
whether or not that's his actual name.
Ori,
Well, should we try it?
Yes.
traditionally, would someone born into a royal family undergo some manner of religious naming ceremony?
Yes, they actually take on the official name. So you know that this is the 18th Kaiser
Right.
Archibald Strauss. That is his official name.
And being that this was a religious ceremony, we can assume it at least has some manner of spiritual significance. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So
You can
That will
assume
say
that
that.
name will resonate with the Kaiser.
So we should try it then.
I mean, so do you mean
Worth
like
a
will
shot.
resonate with him because or like it would be considered the name under this spell?
The ring
Like-
would work on any living person if you know their name. That's all I'm gonna
Right.
say.
So
If-
I'm saying like from what we know of, like I'm asking for a roll here. What do I roll to say like, do I think that I would, knowing the public name of him, do I think this would work? Or do I have to figure out his birth name? Because if you said that his name got changed at some point, then what is his birth name? Is that public knowledge, right?
Whisper it into the ring. Find out.
Well, I'm asking if Callista would know if that is a
I
smart
imagine-
idea or not, because
Yeah, I
she's
imagine
magical, right? Like I wouldn't just.
Mikey would know from the identify whether or not that would like saying the wrong name would cause the ring to explode or waste
No,
the charge for
there's-
them.
It just doesn't work.
It just
If
doesn't
you don't
work,
know the
yeah.
name, or you
So
put
no,
in a
if
fake
we-
name or the
no big
wrong
deal.
name, or it just doesn't work.
So again,
Okay.
my question specifically is, do we know that he had a name before he got like a Kaiser? Like, did his name get changed at some point?
As of
Is
his
that
birth,
public
he
knowledge?
is given the name.
So-
So that is the only official name that you would know of as Callista.
Okay, but so publicly, the name that he was given at birth is still the name he has.
Yes, he is.
Okay, you
currently
made it sound
still
like his name
Archibald
got fully
Strauss the
changed in
18th.
a like ceremony or something, so it was like a thing.
No,
Anyway.
more like a christening.
Question.
Okay, I'm gonna try it then.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yes.
I'll hand over the ring.
If it's like wrong, is that the once per ever, or it's only
Just
if it
doesn't do
works?
anything.
It's only if it works that's your one. Okay.
Okay, it's up to Callista.
Yeah.
Whisper
Yeah, it
the
doesn't
name.
make sense to
100%.
save
we
it,
got
'cause,
we got
like-
6
Do
of
it.
us. Like,
Yeah.
if
You
it
gotta
doesn't work, it
attune.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to attune to it.
All right, whatever.
yeah.
I have literally not gotten a magical item this whole time, so it's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Get out of it.
Hang out for an hour impatiently. I'm gonna get you.
Grr.
A little fight montage.
Just
just attune at dinner.
Yeah,
You could.
Sit there
Yeah,
and
You still
stare
have
at
half
it.
an hour before dinner too.
sure.
Anything
Then
else
I will
people are
do it
doing?
half an hour before dinner.
Yeah. Anything else people are prepping while Callista is attuning to this ring?
Shine and Pico.
Shine Pico.
Pick up a short rest. I'll dress all
Val or
fancy.
some. Should I talk to Crow before dinner? Or should I just talk? I don't know what to do.
Talk to him at dinner. Let's go. We'll go.
I
We'll go
don't know if I want to talk to them in front of everybody.
Why not?
I'm sure that there's like
I just haven't seen
alcoves
them in a while.
and places where you could go for a little bit of privacy, where you could like
Okay.
ask
Yeah. Are they
gonna
them
stab you?
room for a chat.
No,
Are you gonna
they
stab them
shouldn't. No, shouldn't.
or punch them
Okay, no.
or
Probably.
crawl under the table and kick them in the shins?
I make no promises about that one.
That's fair. That was a bit of a stretch for me to.
Yeah. Okay, dinner.
And then you can arrange to meet him afterwards, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, apparently heroes make dolls and sell them to people, and everyone's like, well, I want to be this person. So we gotta get that mannequin factory up and running.
That's horrible. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
I love that actually.
No.
You
Does he just
remember
not
the,
children's
the
dolls?
Wanted, right?
Like collectibles?
Yeah. And then we could put like magic mouth on it, and they could like swing my arm, and I'd be like, I'm Cassidy Thorne. I'm Cassidy Thorne.
No.
Maybe not
Okay.
Val action figures, but Cassidy action figures.
Yeah, definitely Cassidy. I think people would want that.
I also don't. I'm not on board with that. I would like my face to stay on my face and nothing and nowhere else.
I don't like take your face off of you.
It's weird, and I
I can't
think-
even
Do you think it
show
would be
my
funny
face.
if we had one that you could like, you did this,
Be a
bonk,
bogger.
and it went like, I punched myself for magic.
that. It's not just for magic; it's for other reasons too.
I know, but yeah, I mean, we are very limited in small figurine voice replication.
Mikey is
Fuck
going
you
to spend
guys.
the half hour before dinner making a prototype of the Cassidy doll with Cassidy.
Yes.
Perfect.
Mhm, mhm.
Roll me
I
some
will
Tinker's
be,
Watches
tools
in
check.
horror.
so attuning. I don't need to like do anything. Like
No,
I
but
could
you-
do other stuff at the same time.
You have to spend an hour, a short rest, concentrating on your bond with the item. So it is an active thing. you're
Okay,
doing.
so then I
Just gotta think real hard.
yeah okay, I will be doing that.
the attunement process, heavy air quotes.
That's 25 because that didn't include my proficiency to make a Cassidy doll.
With your very basic, I think level 1 tinker ability, you are able to make sound bites come out of objects. And you are able to put this quite easily into a little rag doll that you procure. You can assume that if you were to do a different, say, wooden or metal prototype, you could do the same thing.
I mean, Mikey's probably working in metal. That's their usual. So they've made kind of a little metal Cassidy.
I'm imagining like a wire maquette.
Yes.
I don't like
And Cassidy, you would know Magic Mouth would work for something like this as well.
I don't have magic mouth right now. Okay. I swapped it, but
I'm just
some point.
picturing Cassidy like sitting on a chair doing poses while Mikey sculpts with like tiny tools.
I don't like it. It's
So
I
for
want a,
dinner,
fa-
I will
a
give you
Cassidy
your little
Thorne calendar
Cassidy
now.
action figure to take with you to dinner.
one Cassidy is entirely enough Cassidy's, in my opinion.
challenge accepted. I'm going to try and learn
Oh,
that
please
cool
don't.
thing that people do where they're like, "Ooh," and there's a bunch of them.
Oh god.
Excellent. Callista, whenever you want to, because this is in the last half an hour before dinner, you can whisper this name at your own discretion. When you finish attuning to this ring, though, I will
Mhm.
note there is a pause. Which room are you in right now? Whose room? In your own?
I'm whatever room the group's in.
Did we go back to the
Probably Cassidy's. I
Yeah.
feel like we would in general
Yeah.
go to the most protected one, which would be Cassidy's.
Okay. So Callista, there's a conversation going on in the background as Mikey and Cassidy work. And when you feel that final click of this ring attuning to you, there's a bit of a disorienting feel, like your stomach has been flipped upside down, and the lights seem to darken, as if there's no light coming from the torches, and the window that's wide open is somehow dulled. And you think you can hear, as if very far away, woman's laughter. And then after a second or two, seems that the lights return to normal. The kind of muting on the conversation of Casty and Mikey seems to pick back up a little bit.
Okay. So seems like the ring's ready to go. It's doing weird shit to my head. So let's get this over with.
What do you mean weird shit?
I don't know. Don't like it. And then I just like whisper the name into the ring.
All right. There's the same kind of pause and the same dimming. And everyone's kind of looking at you, but all of a sudden they seem very far away. And you hear a woman's voice kind of come out of the very back of your mind. He's betrayed a god.
Okay.
That's all you get. And then the lights seem to kind of come up again, similar to before. Your friends seem to kind of come back into focus as if they weren't that far away to begin with.
Hey, Beardy.
Are you calling the name out?
He's looking
Straight up.
everywhere.
Can you all roll me a perception check, please?
I'm rolling mine at disadvantage because I'm playing with myself in doll form.
I got a 3.
18 for Mikey.
23. I rolled
I got
deception.
a nat 1 for 5.
And that one is still higher.
I got 19. Sorry, I had the wrong roll.
I
But-
did roll a 24, but I got a 19. I rolled with disadvantage.
The three of you, Mikey, Casty, and Callista, Leiden seems to be off in their own head. You almost immediately notice that Tizzy's eyes have become a swirl of red. And at the very center, where the red stops and it's just a white space, there seems to be a very tiny little figure. It looks something kind of reddish black. And there is a figure doubled in both eyes looking out at you.
Mikey does a double take and then like walks up to Tizzy and goes, "You get out of my sister."
What?
Like right into your face.
Why? Why are you?
Hang on. He's in your eyes. He's in your eyes.
Someone is in my eyes. Hold on.
There's a
who?
pause,
Is he
and
still
then
there?
you see almost coming further forward somehow, getting bigger in Tizzy's eyes. Tizzy, you feel fine. Nothing is seemingly wrong for you.
This is weird.
And Mikey, you watch as this tiny figure, it is a gnome this time, wearing that same familiar checkered suit. The Groucho Marx glasses are gone, but the spiral eyes are still there. Bald, seemingly genderless. And the figure kind of gets larger and larger and larger, and then pauses and goes, "What do you mean? I'm just quickest access. You called me."
Is he like out of Tizzy's
Can
face now?
Can I hear this?
Still in the eyes.
He's still in the
You
eyes.
can hear this, Tizzy.
Mikey's
It
like
seems
leaned
to be
down right in
coming
front of you
from-
with their like skull face,
Yeah.
just like staring intently into your eyes.
This is really weird.
Tizzy, roll me a perception check with disadvantage, please.
Oh, good. The thing I have a -2 in. Give me disadvantage. Interesting. That's a 7.
Yeah. Mikey's
And that's
real
a
close.
5.
Perfect.
They seem very angry at something in your face.
Would it? I'm feeling like this is the wrong choice, but would it help?
No, okay. Can we
No,
just?
what
can
is
we
happening?
Just, I just.
All right,
I
all right.
literally
What'd you
have to
call me
ask
for
this
here?
guy one
What'd you
fucking
call me for
question.
here?
Let's just like calm it all down, guys. Beardy.
Warlock, Vaka's girl. Tell me what you want.
All right, you know God shit, right? like some stuff is going
I
on
am a
there.
god.
Fine,
Are
whatever.
you?
You know the Goths, right? So, who did the Kaiser betray?
Betray.
The Kaiser betrayed somebody?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Kaiser betrayed a god. Who was he in league with before?
Did he?
It's the first you're all hearing of it. There's a pause. He goes, well, that's what we're fighting about, honestly. We don't know. And
You don't know
Verity kind of looks
what?
away and looks a little bit awkward. Well, we don't know how they got her powers.
What is the name of the goddess that Proctor serves?
Freda, goddess of the eclipse.
Freda.
Freda or
Do
Freda?
you mean
Freda.
Here.
Freda.
Okay, gotcha.
do you mean Freda?
Yep. One light, one dark. No idea how a couple of mortals did it, honestly. Real muck about the table, let's just say.
When you say one light, one dark, you mean like two gods are missing or one god is missing?
Well, one god's missing. We don't know how two got each half of the power.
Two mortals got half of her power? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Not that
And
we
the
know
Kaiser's
how.
the Kaiser's one of them. Do you know who the other one is? You can
Well,
maybe help.
I'll give you a hint. If one is dark, what's the biggest, flashiest, sunlightiest thing you know of?
Cassidy Thorn?
Sassafras?
The sun?
The
None
Emperor.
of those things.
The Sun
Emperor of the Sun.
Emperor.
Oh,
Yes.
Emperor of the Sun!
And this
I
is why
think
they're
you're
at
picking
war?
it up.
Is this why they're at war?
Don't
One of
know.
them wants the power.
They have two halves of the god's power. They're
Here's
trying
the
to
thing,
take
though.
the rest from the other and
Here-
ascend to godhood.
Here's the thing.
Oh.
They would have had to work together for this.
Nah, don't know. Anyways, what else you need? I'm on a budget here of time. I gotta see another guy about a horse.
Ooh, which guy?
honestly-
What horse? Just kidding. I don't care.
It's
Honor-
on Ravnica. You wouldn't know. Anywho,
Thank you, Bertie. Appreciate it. I'm sorry for some of the times that I was an asshole to you. Not all of them, just some of them.
hey.
That's
You're all
That's big.
assholes.
Is this man
She's
still in
just
my
the least.
eyeballs?
And Bertie is pointing inwards as if pointing to Tizzy. And there's
Right.
a popping noise, and Tizzy, your eyes are back to normal. Bertie is nowhere to be seen.
Okay, so the ring's awesome. Just saying. Whoever wants it next.
Wait,
it does
is
some
that what
great
you
things.
heard?
Yeah. So he betrayed a god. Now we know which one. And
Oh.
now we know why we should definitely not try and kill him, because he's got half of the power of a god. So yup. Which also like makes sense why Fist is terrified of him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Corey, out of so I like fully know all the gods. I just like personally don't, and I don't know where that document is right now. So where what do I know about Freda? Because like again, I read that book like and hardcore,
You did.
right?
You and Casti would both know and be able to open your books to this page. Freda is the goddess of the eclipse. She disappeared about 25, give or take, years ago.
How old is the
and
Kaiser?
Kaiser's about 38.
the
Yeah.
war
So he's-
started.
He was
Wait,
In his
13.
adventuring days.
And Freda was the goddess of the eclipse. She was an active goddess. People prayed to her. She was actually, she's among the Church of Many Faiths as one of the larger goddesses that is prayed to in Karnifexia, in addition to Matanus. And it is largely because she keeps balance. Her entire role on Karnifexia was the person that kept light and dark equal. If there was an area that was particularly evil, the paladins of Freda, the clerics, etc., would go in and cleanse it out, make it a little bit lighter. And inversely, if things were a little bit too oligarchical, Freda was often known for sending her folks in to sow some evil as well and some darkness to keep things in balance. There's a reason her symbol is both the eclipsing moon and silver scales. And you would all in the book be able to pull this up. Because Cassie, you still have the book, I believe, in the bag of holding.
So at some point, the goddess of balance's powers were split between two monarchs of different countries. One who's in league with liches and mob bosses, and the other who's used his bright powers to become this like conquering ruler of the Empire of the Sun.
Kind of also makes weird sense why the war is kind of balanced.
Yeah, and why it's gone for so long.
Mm-hmm. I honestly, so based on everything that we heard from the Kaiser and that Squiggles picked up that one time and things like that, I have the distinct impression that this is in some ways a manufactured war. I honestly think that it's not as real as we think it is. There's just been a lot of hints that the Kaiser knows exactly what's going on and is potentially they're at a stalemate on purpose. I might be wrong because it's all, kind of hints here and there, but that's what I have gathered.
No, that tracks. I don't know.
So I don't know what else to do with that. I don't think there's much we can, it's really good information to have, but I don't think it impacts anything in the immediate term. Dinner?
Sure. Yeah, I don't have much to add. It sounds balanced.
Yeah, Mikey looks distracted, like they're still thinking this over, but they nod and they'll come along.
Oh, can I have the ring?
Yeah.
I want to attune to it.
I'm not super clear with how de-attunement works, so can I just do that?
Yes, but it will take an hour for Tizzy to attune to it as well. Same exact process.
Just gonna sit at dinner and focus on a weird ring. It'll be fine.
Okay, so you do give the ring to Tizzy?
Yeah.
Okay. The bell is starting to ring, the dinner bell, for all of the guests to join the purveyor of this establishment in the grand dining hall, where you had high tea earlier.
Cassidy will head over there, but first, her pilot is going to close the door, so no more motorcycle sounds. Bye.
Mikey will take off their plain, or they didn't have their mask on in the room. They'll put on their fancy dinner mask.
Okay. You folks get all suited up and head on down. Folks are gathering. You do notice that Fist and the entourage is already here and mostly sat around the central table this time. Fist has taken the same seat at the head. However, right at his right is the Kaiser, as well as the majority of the monarchist coalition on that side of the table. And as everyone kind of settles down, you notice that a number of the heroes are already sitting together. It looks like Boggart and Sassafras are sitting together along with Durf. And it seems like Sassafras is making a pass at the both of them at the same time. The Steel Cart boys are at the back. The various politicians are kind of all settling in. You do see at the central table, Prince Jazar takes a seat, as does Commissar Brokoff and several others. You have a seat. Are you taking your own table? Are you joining anyone else?
Are the tables assigned or?
It is similar to before. It is free seating, and it seems that there is more social expectations on who sits with whom. The closer to that middle table and the head of that middle table, it seems the more powerful people are getting.
Right.
The very edges of the room are like heroes and, second-rate folks and lords and ladies and so on and so forth. The Fae are on the outside as well because they are in full glamour. So you folks have a seat. There's a kind of pause as Fist waits for the last couple people to be seated, and then stands, clinks his glass, and you all notice that there is a champagne glass at every single spot. And he waits as everyone kind of picks up this full champagne glass and gestures it towards him. And
Loading.
He kind of smiles, particularly at Cassidy having interrupted the speech the previous night. And then you see him kind of grit and prepare. And he pauses and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, I would like to propose a toast to Ghastheim's success in this disgusting double-decade war that has put our people at risk, my fellow citizens, their lives on the line. To our heroes, our soldiers, and those holding the front at home. Tonight, we have asparagus cultivated on the edge of the Briarwall Forest. I know some of our adventurers in the room will be familiar. In addition, we have duck from the Checkered Lakes region, crisp skin fried by our most exquisite chefs. After dinner, we will be gathering in the main theater where our esteemed guest, the bard, Sassafras, will be playing a full set. Thank you, and I look forward to chatting with you." And there is a rousing kind of clinking of glasses, and dinner begins in earnest with folks coming in with the plates, so on and so forth.
Yeah, my glass would have been raised with my mage hand, and all my gesticulations were actually happening. And as everybody's like, "Hooray!" goes to drink, my glass is
Gotcha. So you folks are tucking in. It is delicious. The skin is perfectly crispy. On the inside, it is juicy, it is oily, it is incredible duck. And the asparagus as well is quite fresh.
You notice Callista is not really like eating or anything. What she is basically like holding her dagger under the table and like mumbling under her breath. She is basically communicating what she just learned to Vaka, because she knows that there's some like stuff going on with the gods and they're all doing councils and stuff. So just in case Vaka doesn't know, she's passing along everything that she's learned.
Can you roll me a general charisma check or a religion check, please, with advantage?
Charisma to talk to your own god.
Right. With advantage.
Advantage. This
15.
is your goddess. You reach out and almost immediately you feel that connection, like a trickle of water down a rock face. And then it slowly gets more and more forceful until it's a torrent kind of flooding into your awareness. And you feel very small in your own body as Vaka just seems to take your awareness, like the raging kind of river delta at the mouth leading into the sea. And there's an understanding. And then you feel kind of a calm, warming sensation, like the soft sun on the surface of the Mediterranean in the summer. And there's kind of a notion of growth that comes with it. Not yet. One day. And then just as it came, the rivulets pull back trickle by trickle until it reverts back to the final drop, pulling up and away. And that kind of overwhelming presence is gone.
You see Callista reach over to her like champagne glass and she like pretends to go to drink, but you notice that when she brings the glass down, she's like spat a bunch of salty water into the champagne glass.
You're gonna ray of frosting.
It feels like there's like hot sweat on your brow as well, Callista. It seems to be collected seawater. Almost like dew.
Why does it smell like a beach?
Salt and duck.
Yeah. Tizzy's just gonna, as soon as Tizzy is finished attuning to this ring, she's just gonna like put it in her pocket and try and find Crow. Like she's not gonna do it yet.
Okay. And I know a couple of you folks were going to go with Tizzy for moral support.
Whoever would like to come is welcome to.
I'll go.
I can come too. I'm not eating.
That's
Mikey's
fair.
been like pushing stuff around on their plate, trying to make it look like they're eating.
Fair.
Mind me quite well. Can you roll me a performance or deception check, please? Or sleight of hand, Mikey.
I am bad
Sleight
at
of
all
hand.
of those.
Put it in your purse.
Just scrape it off. I mean,
I'm better
Cassie
at
was eating
sleight of hand.
pate from her bag. Like,
It's a nat
last
one.
night.
What if I
Oh,
wanted to eat
no.
it later?
good.
Do I want to inspiration that, or is it funnier if I don't? Let's just leave
Up
it.
to you.
Don't waste your
Let it
inspiration on
stand.
that.
If
So there
anybody
are-
asks, you ate too much at high tea.
Exactly.
I'm just very hungover.
There are a number of scraping sounds of fork on plate here and there. As Mikey
And
makes
like
a
a
very
really
sloppy.
Awkward moment in conversation.
Several nobles do look over at this person who has not seemed to have removed their mask to eat.
Mikey,
What?
I have to whisper loudly so you can hear me. But no one else can. Pretend it's a real whisper. It's a voice thing. Anyways,
Stage whisper.
what if we put the bag inside of you, and then when you swallowed things, they would fall in there instead of out of you?
That sounds gross and uncomfortable,
What
but I
the
am willing to
fuck?
give it a try.
Like, would you, well, I don't, like, would you feel it? Would you know? I have no idea how this works.
Oh, I mean, we could give it a shot.
Maybe not right now. A little obvious, but
Well, you've killed McRae.
How you wouldn't
Sorry.
be able to talk.
Because
the
internal
only
Put the
reason-
bag of holding in your undead compatriot, like as a stash.
You would have to put it in Mikey's stomach.
yes.
How
I don't know. I'm just, these are the things we wonder.
I mean, we wouldn't lose it.
how would we get stuff out of it?
That'd be an amazing party trick. In you go, out comes a sword. In you go, out comes a man in a door. In you go,
Out comes this charred skull.
in you go,
How
out
would
comes a
we
soul.
put other stuff in?
Just something for consideration. I was just wondering, it was very
I'm-
obvious that you weren't eating your food.
Now I'm just thinking about how Mikey even talks, because if you don't have blood and you don't breathe, like how does the air come out and make the
I
sounds?
think they don't breathe because they don't need to oxygenate their blood, but they can still like pump air into their lungs and use it to speak.
Just pull the diaphragm.
Yeah,
It's like when people die and they have death wheezes.
it's vampire logic. It just they can talk. It's just a thing.
You just can, okay?
I just
The
can't.
necromancy
It's
stops
magic.
stops rigor mortis from setting in, so you're good.
This might be
It's
a
good.
fantasy game, but I draw the line at putting a bag inside of our teammate's stomach just for fun.
It wasn't just for fun. There's practical reasons.
Yeah.
What
For
reason
fun and
could you
profit.
possibly have to put a thing we can easily reach in and out of inside the body of another person?
Hang on, I gotta get my
No.
sword. Let me put my hand down the trigger.
Yeah, hold on, come here.
We would do it. We would do it so that it would look like she's eating.
So that we get
So-
the bag later and it's
Wait,
just
no.
full of food.
And then, yeah, later on, you go back to the room. Delicious meal ready for you.
Watch me pull this rabbit out
Slightly
of my friend.
pre-chewed.
Ah!
Already been chewed. For your convenience.
Anyway, we go and talk to
Have it.
Crow.
I'm gonna have an existential crisis.
Sorry, I'm just trying to avoid getting those 2 steps from Maggie melting down. Fuck, that broke me. First time I've ever had a player try to put a bag of holding in another player. I've had a lot of people do a lot of things with bags of holding, but like,
I didn't try. I just
Just
I have a
Ask.
What is the idea?
simple question for you, Corey. Have you
Yes.
fucking met us?
Yeah,
yeah.
you did agree to run this game for us.
Mm-hmm.
At what
sure did.
follow-up
So you
question?
folks-
Are you actually shocked?
No, you folks walk over to Crow.
Player achievement broke the DM.
Crow is eating, seems to be kind of putting things under the mask, similar to Mikey, but is actually chewing and ingesting things.
They've got
Um,
the technique.
sitting next to Fedini Lacarzone, the ex-trade prince. And they both kind of turn over to you as you approach. And he goes, "Ah, my friends. What do we owe the pleasure?"
Hi, Crow.
Yes. And you see Fedini lean back and kind of like give a little wave at Cassidy. And then he goes back to tucking into his duck and turns away. And Crow just kind of turns at you and pauses for a second, rustles around in their bag, pulls out what looks to be a sheet of parchment and a quill and an ink stopper. And you see them begin to start writing something down.
I can't. These are my
we
friends.
can translate if you need.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. If you don't want to talk here, that's okay. This is my sibling. I got another one. And this is Val, and they're my friends. I have a lot of questions for you.
They finish the note and hand it out to you. And you
What does
can
it
see
say?
that they are actually trying to say something, and you just hear coming out.
Cassidy told me about stuff. Well, she didn't actually, but she kind of did. I know that's a different question. What does the note say?
Are you giving it to someone to translate?
She looks at it for half a second and then puts it up to Val and Mikey.
Val and Mikey, it says, "I'm glad you're okay. Did Temper find you?"
So we translate.
Yeah, we'll read that off for you.
Yeah, we found yeah, that was the whole thing. We found her where did you go? I guess here, but oh, there are too many questions. I actually don't know how to have this conversation.
Did you want to like we could go somewhere that's quieter so you can relax?
Just bye.
Are you sure you
Susie,
don't
are
want
you going to
She's
turn
to them anymore?
She's trying to just like she doesn't know how to have this conversation. Actually, she's like,
I'll be like, hey let's
talk
Hey.
to
the group of
Izzy,
us go find somewhere
hand-
quiet where you can talk.
A hand comes out from Crow as you go to turn and actually grabs you by the wrist and like tries to stop you from going.
Tizzy just
And
hugs
then-
her, hugs them.
Aw.
They don't seem to know what to do, and then kind of old habits set in, and they kind of pull you in for that hug.
Oh,
And
stupid.
it's not hard to tell that there is kind of a pulling from the chest, and you could tell they're crying. Your hair is starting to get a little bit wet. There's no sound coming out. Kind of a couple of muffled, same kind of groaning sounds from the throat.
Tizzy is just uncomfy, like uncomfy.
There are feelings.
There are
So many feelings.
She's just like
Fancy party,
squirming.
nobles,
Like,
feelings.
Several people are nearby, are all
Written
watching.
language.
Fedini is at the
written
main
language.
table.
This is my worst nightmare. Tizzy just leans in closer and goes, I'm glad you're okay. I guess you're working right now, so that's okay if you can't talk. I'm bad at this, you know that. Shut up.
Crow reaches out for the piece of paper back.
Yeah, I hand it over and give Tizzy a little like reassuring pat on the shoulder, like you can do this.
This
They
is
turn
gross.
and
I
they
don't like it.
start
Ugh.
Scribbling another letter out, and then hand it directly to you this time, Michaelius. And it says in the same kind of very fine looping cursive scrawl, "I'm sorry I had to leave you. I didn't want to."
I read that out quietly.
I love Yeah, it's okay. Stuff happens. Yeah.
They take it back again from Mikey.
Yep.
And just one line, very quick, and then hands it to Mikey. And Mikey, as you even start reading it, it says, "I love you too." And Crow's already pulled in Tizzy again. And
Aw.
is kind of trying not to sob too heavily.
I'll
La
whisper it in your
Carzone is
ear.
like politely looking the other way, very intent on the asparagus and duck.
I just shut up. You were stupid, emotional. I miss you too, but you don't have to be so fucking. She just kind of stands there and is like very uncomfortable.
Luckily, you are short enough that they are leaning down a little bit in their chair to hug you. And so it is less of a spectacle than you would think with a busy room full of chatting diners. La Carzone seems to be paying attention. You also notice a couple of the heroes have caught on as you're on that side of the dining hall, but it seems none of them are intruding. No one's saying anything. And you kind of stay like that for a bit, and then Crow kind of wipes the eyes, like adjusts the mask.
Oh, I have so many questions, but I don't know. We don't have to do this now. We can talk later when you're not busy, maybe not at dinner where there's like a million people that are kind of watching us all at the same time.
They turn and take the note again. It's starting to like fill up on the front side, so they flip it over to the back side and let out another little scrawl. It says, "I have to look after Fedini, but when we have time."
Mikey, you're friends with Fedini, right? We can have
Fedini kind of perks up at this a little bit, trying not to like eavesdrop, but very clearly eavesdropping.
You're friends. You taught him about concrete today.
Different person.
Different person? I don't remember anybody's names. No, that was Jazar. I'm so dumb.
That was Jazar.
That was literally
He
Jazar.
loves concrete.
Concrete. God, I get them mixed up in my head so easily. No, but we'll talk. We'll have a picnic or something. I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, I don't know. Hi.
Maybe
I missed
this evening
you.
They take the note of last time
after everyone's in
and
bed.
scrawl out, "That sounds lovely," to the picnic idea, and hands back to Mikey to read out.
I do.
Okay. Cool.
Crow turns over and like puts an arm on Fedini's forearm, and Fedini just kind of smiles sagely and just like pats a hand on Crow's hand on his forearm. And then you kind of see him lean forward, whisper something in Crow's ear. Crow nods, and then kind of turns back to you and goes and waves.
Okay. Bye. She's gone.
Izzy bails.
Tizzy Bales.
We
Just
follow,
reels.
I guess.
Mikey, you can pick up the smile beneath the mask for sure.
Aw,
Wearing a
I'm
mask.
familiar
yourself.
with that.
Did you guys ask the trade prince guy about the locket?
Oh fuck. Hold on.
What's the time?
Hold on.
Technically, Mikey and Val are still standing there.
Can we
Tizzy's just
shout
fucked
from
off.
across the
No.
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 Sure you can.
No. Yeah, what do you know about
This
this
is
locket?
Val, do
again.
you wanna
This is
handle this
something we
one?
took from
Sure.
from the
I'll
liches.
trail after Tizzy.
Val will going close to Fedini. Just be like,
He kind of like gestures you close, like right in between himself and Crow, kind of
Hi, we're
using their
back.
bodies to block whatever you're holding out.
Cassidy implied that you occasionally deal in unusual things. And
Yes, I do. I can procure items as well as, well, I am a antique collector, let's say. I can hopefully tell you what things are worth.
Well, we have come into
Should you
possession-
require a fence as well?
Yeah. We've come into possession of a locket that has a soul in it. And we're not sure
Yes.
if it is a phylactery. We're not sure if it is something that's been imprisoned. Don't know.
Can you send it to my room tonight, and I will take an hour or two to look at it. And
I will ask Cassidy.
And hands you a small piece of paper after scrawling a room number on it.
I'd also like to facilitate arranging the picnic between these two. You can
Yes.
let me know a time that's convenient for you to not have your bodyguard for a little while. I'll take it tonight.
Yes, I can.
he can
I
come
can
if he
arrange to
wants.
be escorted by some of the Silver Star mercenaries for a few hours. Of course, I am aware that my employee had previous ties that they were forced to abandon at short notice.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics, of course, but when
Neither
I
do
found them, they were already in not excellent health. And gives you kind of this soft smile. You don't need an insight check to pick up. There's some compassion there. Hired this person in a pretty rough situation.
Yeah.
The room number is
One we will
nope,
immediately
Crow is
forget.
in
Yeah, we'll
116.
completely forget. We'll
Yeah,
just go to
I'm not gonna
Fadini's room.
remember.
Don't worry
Not
about
me.
it.
Fellini is 115.
Let me know, and I'll write it in my book.
115. So he's actually pretty close to where
Yeah,
Mikey
actually.
and Tizzy and Val are all staying.
Those are like
right?
125.
Crow is
We're like-
116.
Yeah. Oh.
Our heads are on them.
All right.
Noted.
We got a room number and it's not for fucking.
It's not the first one,
Yeah.
not
Not with that
Hey,
attitude.
it took
I mean,
us
I'm sure it
2.5
could be
days.
If you were into that.
No.
The best part is that Leiden would have received a message from Maggie Masters. Were they here?
Confuses me every time you say Maggie Masters.
Miss Maggie Masters, I'll have you know. Lady of Draugr.
Ooh.
She's a lady.
That's fair.
So you folks continue on with your dinner. You do notice about halfway through the dinner, both the hero Durf, Boggart, and Sassafras disappear for about an hour. They do return. You don't have to guess.
It's a quickie because he's got to perform after dinner.
Pretty much.
He's got to perform again.
Again.
He's
Hey.
He's acquiring himself some bardic inspiration.
Mhm.
Mm.
Is that how
So-
you get that, Cass?
Oh my god.
All the bards are different. I don't know.
You
As
just have to have a
somebody
nice
who's
little
just a
frolic
sex bard.
on your own.
It's a mystery.
That's why her leaps are so mirthful. Post-sex glow all the time.
Yeah, sex makes you jump higher.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Well-known fact.
That's why Mario is in such a rush to find Princess Peach.
That's
so
why-
he loses jumping powers.
That's why basketball players cheat on their wives when they're like, in a different city.
Gotta jump better.
I like how this mythos is just getting even more fucked up.
Sex
All right.
makes you jump, obviously.
I mean, good sex should. Anywho, you folks finish dinner, and everyone starts to slowly kind of roll into the main theater. Sassafras disappears behind the backstage curtain, the same place you folks waited before you were announced the first night. And very shortly thereafter, the house lights come down. The Silver Star mercenaries and Shadow Blacks in their various positions take up the space. And Sassafras begins playing his set. It is all softer, mostly acoustic stuff. He comes out, he's wearing very, very nice silver lipstick and claw shadow that he has carefully put on his each claw. And he's playing a strange flat instrument that has strings similar to Cassidy's, but it has kind of a musical, magical twang to it. Seeming almost something from Thrask, and you can tell that Proctor and Hooper recognize the tone.
I think I do too. It sounds kind of like the end times.
It does. You took the joke out of my fucking mouth, you bastard. God damn it. I've never had a joke taken from my mouth as I'm saying it.
Hell yeah.
What year is it? Anyways, that does bring us to our end times, where each of us have 1.5 minutes in our usual order to plug things, shout out things, say nice things about other people and organizations and groups and crews in the world. You are adults, you know what to do. I'm going to immediately pass it over to Elena.
Hello, I am Elena Pete. I play Mikey Gogol. We both are they, them. I gotta admit, I totally didn't think of a shout out for tonight. You can check out my comic at weregeek.com. You can check out our recent, let me tell you about my character, up on the Wicked and Fun Co. YouTube page. We did a really good character this past week.
I forgot their name. Tanzanite. Varda Tanzanite.
Varda Tanzanite, the fanciest of dwarven dancers. I forgot her name too, or their name. Anyway, they're very fancy and they have an amazing beard. Cause dwarf. Check it out.
Backstory.
It's a lot of fun. That's all I've got.
This is where we segue it on to
who else? I
Amanda.
always forget who's next. Is it Amanda?
Yeah,
it's Amanda.
It is me. Hi, I'm Amanda. I use she, her pronouns. I play Val, who also uses she, her pronouns. And today kicked the butt of a stuck-up swordsman. And apparently I'm planning a meet cute picnic for Tizzy and Crow. Today I have one short shout out and one longer shout out. So the quick one is for openculture.com. It's a really cool site that has a lot of free stuff. And the particular part I want to draw people's attention to is they have free online courses. They have a list that they constantly update of free to take courses from universities and other places of learning all over the place. You can take courses in pretty much everything, whatever you're interested in. It's listed by like type or field, and then you can go from there. Some of the courses are with like really impressive universities. Some of them you can get credit, but you have to usually pay to get the credit, but all of the courses are otherwise free. So there's that. You should go check it out. Over 1,700 free courses online. So I'm sure that there's something that'll interest you. I also want to shout out a fairly new comic called The Unchosen. And this is by Lisa, my friend Lisa Simon. And you can find it on Tapas. If you search The Unchosen, it's the first one that comes up. I'll also link it in the chat. Go check it out. It's fairly recent. It's post-apocalyptic, but kind of hope-punky. Yeah. So those are my two things. Please, go learn things and then go enjoy some culture stuff that cool people are making. From there, I will pass it on to Isabel.
Oh, hi. I'm Isabel. I play Callista. Both of us are she, her. I would like to shout out Cape Breton University again. So about a month ago or so, they invited me to do a guest lecture for their education department. And I have been working with them over the last week. They're actually they recorded the lecture and they're making it into a video that they're going to be teaching going forward. So I'm very honored that they thought that I did a good job. And I'm really happy that they're taking diversity and transness into teaching young new educators. So, and they also sent me some swag, which was really nice. Yeah, thank you, Cape Breton University, for giving me the chance to use my voice and to give me a platform for talking about some of the stuff that young trans kids have to go through in school. And yeah, it was a really nice experience, and they continue to be awesome. And I hope that going forward that video works out for people. So that's me. I'm going to leave it on a hopeful note, which is going to be mindfucky for Maggie. So thus it's going to like throw her off so that she won't even know what's. So Maggie, you're up next.
Oh my God, what? Am I?
Exactly.
Okay. Hi,
Everything's
I'm
on
Maggie.
fire.
What? Oh my God. Anyway, I'm Maggie. I use she and they pronouns. Tizzy doesn't believe in gender. Let me see. If you like hanging out with us, you should probably actually check out a million other of these shows that we are associated with. Let me see. Oh my God. I can't read.
Cheat sheet and stuff.
I have it open and I'm reading it and I can't read.
I can never remember where the document is. You're one up on me.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's the
shut
main.
up.
Like by the time I remember that I don't have a shout out, it's like too late to go find
It's
that
too late.
document.
I'm always first, and I'm always like, I forgot all the things.
Mhm.
So, okay. Obviously, Alina already shouted out. Let me tell you about my character that we do every other Sunday. Quinn, who was absent tonight, is on another show called The Worst Days that you can watch here on Twitch. Alina's also on another show called Trash Heroes, which
You
is
shout out my show.
yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna shout out all of your shows. And then there's some other lovely people that I know on we know on Tabletop Titties, and there are some lovely people on Mayday Roleplay and Chill Times at Cool Times at Chill Haven High. I always get that switched. Anyway, that's all I got because I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna pass it to. Oh, it would generally be
And
Quinn, but
quickly,
they're not
you
here.
can find most, if not the majority of those projects on our actual website of wickedandfunco.com under people's bios. Don't look at Tizzy's though.
Do look at Tizzy's. It's as good as this series of words.
It's as good as you may expect. It's
I
very on brand.
have to leave. I'm going to give it to Pat before I completely lose my mind.
Okie dokie. Hi, I'm Patrick. He, him, I guess. Sure. I play Cassidy Thorne, who is a whole bunch of things. Generally, she goes by she, I think. I don't really. She seems to respond to just attention. So maybe that's what her gender is, just attention seeking. Does that make sense? Is that a thing? I don't know. Whatever.
So male?
Yeah, I guess.
That's a behavior.
Female, male, fawn, everything in between. Anyone can be attention seeking, friends. Dream hard, work hard, and just ask. So I'm going to do a quick whirlwind of shout outs. I'm going to give a shout out to The Worst Days on Twitch for rating us tonight. Woohoo! So head over to twitch.tv/The Worst Days.
Hello,
and check
Quinn's
them out.
homies. We call her Queen.
I know we did, but we're gonna hype them again. There's also from the rooftops, our ninja has a shout out, a friend of his. They serve together, and now Rooftop moderates a Twitch D&D channel and plays video games with us. And his other friend is now working for Symbiotic Games. And the game, if I don't want to get it wrong, I can't remember what the game's called. Symbiotic Games is the game. I started looking at the video and want to play it. The developer's name is Corey. I'll flip a link to the video in the chat so you can check it out and learn a little bit more. There you go. Then I'm going to give a shout out to me because I'm doing cool stuff. Tomorrow I'm in a fireside chat about storytelling in the Adobe community server. So I guess I'm going to talk to people about telling stories and how we do stories and marketing. And I've also touched base with a podcast I listened to called We Speak Common. And they were like, hey, anyone want to talk about D&D? And I was like, I do. And they're like, okay, let's do it. So we're just getting that set up. So as soon as that gets figured out and recorded, I will tell them to come to Twitch and watch our show. So we're probably going to talk about mid-level play because growing up, I played a lot of second edition. We did a lot of character dreams, and then we would generally play D&D for a week each summer, every single day. So we'd get to level 4, and then and then I would. And there's this weird time where players at level 7, 8, 9, 10 don't really know that they're powerful. So they think they should still be fighting goblins, but they can fight dragons. But a dragon shows up and they all wig out and no one wants to use their cool new powers. So we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about my new favorite made up monster, which is the swarm of goblins, because I think that should totally be a bad guy. Just a swarm of goblins that's like CR7. So you have to fight like 17 goblins at once, but they're all just like stabbing you in the ankles and biting you. That's about it. That's me. Goodbye. On to Corey.
Can a swarm of goblins be called a Maggie?
No,
Yes.
it's called a
Baggy
problem.
problem.
It's called a threat. A swarm of goblins is called
A
a threat.
fisting of goblins.
Please, God.
Whoa!
Please, Jesus,
Ooh.
God. Why would you say that?
Would it be a Maggie-sized fist of
The
goblins?
internet
then?
is
Like-
forever, and you choose to say these things.
Uh-huh. That's true. The internet is forever, friends.
I regret now.
I regret nothing.
I regret
Uh,
everything.
Hello, I am McCrae.
I
use
had
any pronoun.
sex with a dragon in a threesome involving a fey princess. My like life goals are complete. At this point, it's like all downhill. So I can now say whatever I want. It's like whatever.
You guys hyped up orgies, and then the following week had an orgy in the most extravagant fashion possible. So life goals. Yeah, I'm McCrae. I use any pronoun. I would like to thank Pippa Andrew for our theme song, Mike for editing our podcast for the podcast listeners. Hello there on the interwebs. Alina for our intro video, Rooftop Ninja for being our awesome COO and broadcast and chat mod and everything behind the scenes. Izzy for doing our Patreon and throwing up our website. Quinn and Maggie for our social medias. I would also like to shout out all of our other shows, The Brewery, and the other ones that everyone else covered already. So I don't have to this week, which is dope. I am going to do something sneaky this week for my last shout out. I'm going to shout out my players because they don't know it yet. But when they get a long rest at the end of day 2, they level up. So that's my shout
Yeah.
out for this week is don't die before you go to bed.
Holy morph is
No
happening.
promises.
Oh, I'm gonna
Giant
fuck this up.
apes.
So
Threat.
That's
and a
my shout out.
promise.
is to my players for being brave and stupid in equal amounts.
Oh my god, I'm gonna polymorph someone. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Let me make a special announcement. Turtle.
Hey, Kaiser, Ray of Frost.
We're gonna die. Okay.
This
We
is how
won't
you
ever
die.
get to level up.
is- Yeah. So you have, I don't know, what, 6 hours to survive? Oh, God. Anywho, thank you for coming out. We will see you back here next Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST, twitch.tv/something5e. And we're also on the YouTubes. We have a bunch of highlight reels I've cut. So they have their own little playlist. So if you want to see the best of like episode 30 and episode 44, I think, those are the 2 episodes I've cut thus far. There's some fucking golden moments. Made me laugh out loud. If you want to know the story of Gregory the Wiener Dragon, it is there. It exists.
If you want to see me literally unable to talk,
We broke
Watch-
Isabel. We
watch
full
that
on
one.
broke Isabel for like 2 minutes, and it was just the mental image of the Wiener Dragon. But I'm going to end off here with a quote, as I do every week. I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you've dreamed of, and I wish to you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love, and I will always love you. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next Wednesday.
it's I
And
will always-
I.